All right, team. So let's start your Excel session. On the request from lots of people, we have started this Excel training, and in the last session we have seen what is Microsoft Excel. And in today's session, we're going to move on with your how we can calculate the basic maths, and the formula. So we're going to see the sum and average today. So this is the sample data. So you can see in sample data, you have an example data. So you can see there are students from A to E, and then these are their score. So we're going to calculate the sum, how we can create a different type of sums and the averages. So now you can see what is total sum. Sum it is like you have your all these score and you want to sum this. So here you can see the sum which is from B2 to B6, which is like these are the sum of these student. And in this one you can see the total score it is coming as a 400. So if you add this, it will come as a 400. And now let's see what is average. Average is calculated based on like whatever the 400 you have scored divided by the number of student. So here you can see there are number of students, there are total 5 students. And so if you divide this 400 by 5, it becomes 80. So score is total 80. So this is how you calculate your sum and score. And so now let's see how this we can achieve on Excel sheet. So here this is an Excel sheet where we're going to calculate all these sum and score. We'll try to keep this video team in between not more than 10 to 12 minutes because in case if this video goes more than 12 to minutes, in that case what we'll do, we'll see the sum calculation and average calculation, which is this one, we'll see in the next video because I don't want to make a video more than 10 to 12 minutes. So let's see how we can calculate the sum part. So you can see the sum and average score which is coming here. So we have a 10 example of a sum formula and all these different formula we're going to see. So these are, you can see the student number and you can see their name. So there are total 8 students. These are their score. These are their department. So we're going to calculate various formula based on if you want only for HR department or if you want to score only for sales department, how we can do that. Then these are the bonus, what they are getting. These are their salary. And these are the grade what they have achieved. So based on all this, we're going to calculate all these sum. Now here we're going to put all these formula team. And so we're going to see how we can calculate your all these detail. So let's come here. Let me make this screen bigger because it is very small. So I'm just going to hide this. I'll hide your this section so that the screen becomes a bit bigger. And now here you can see all these formula it is coming. So we're going to calculate all these formulas. So the first formula it is coming, calculate total score. So these are like for 8 student, how much total score is coming. So let's see. So how we going to do that? We're going to give here as a equal to sign. With this equal to sign, we're going to write here as your, since we want to do sum, so we're going to write here as a sum, and I'm going to open the bracket. Acha, whenever you do something, you will see whenever you write something, it asks you what you want to do. Since we're doing sum here, so we'll take it as a sum, and then we're going to write it into the bracket. So it's asking you what sum do you want. So we want to calculate from here. So you can see this is a cell which is C6. So from C6 to C13, I want to calculate. So what I'll do, I'll just select this and highlight this and close the bracket. Now, if you press enter, you will see the total formula. It is coming here as a 666. All right, so this is your total score is coming here, team. So you can see total class score. So if I sum from here to here, this is coming as a 666. Now let's see the manual calculation also, whether it is the answer is correct or not. So if I select your this detail and if I add your all these score and let's see whether it is working or not. So if I add this here, which is for even for this also, and even for your this also. Now, if I add this, so you can see the result here also, it is coming as a 666. So it means the formula, it is working absolutely fine. Now let's just move on to the next formula. So the next formula, it is when you want to calculate two different group. So two different group in a sense, like for example, here you can see we have a total 8 people here. I want to calculate for score, which is for Rahul Sharma till Mohan Gupta. So that's a one group. Second group, I want to calculate from Amit Verma to Ravi Kumar. So that's a two group which I want to calculate. And I do in that group, I do not want Dinah and Priya to be calculated. So let's see how we can create this. So if I come here, if I give here as an equal to sign, then what I'll do, I'll write here as a sum. So once you write here as a sum, so what do you want to be sum here? So in this case, what I'll do, I'll take it. I want to sum from 6, 6 to 6, 8. That's my one group here. Then I'll give here as a comma. And then my second group it is, which I want from your C11 to C13. So this is my second group here. And then I will close this bracket. So here you can see you have achieved 508. So that's a total. Now let's see manual way whether this is coming fine or not. So if I calculate you this plus this plus this, so that's a one group here, which is 255. Let's calculate for the second group also here, which is 88 plus 74 plus 91. And let's, if I add this total, let's see what is the total it is coming. So this plus this. So you can see 508 it is coming. So manually also it is coming absolutely fine. Now let's see the third sum formula. So third sum formula it is, I want to calculate the average. Average I have already shown you team on PPT, like what is the average? Average here it is like whatever the score it is divided by the number of participants. So here you can see total score it is coming as a 4,400, which is the number of a participant it is 5. So it should come as a 80. So let's see how much it is coming here, which is average formula here. So in your average formula, what I'll do, I'll select here, I'll give here as an equal to sign, sum. So what I want to sum here, which is from all these people here, I want to calculate their average. Then what I'll do, I'll give here as a forward slash sign, and I want to count something. What do you want to count? I want to count here as a from your this from to Ravi Kumar. So again, I'll select close the bracket and then press enter. So the sum formula, it is coming 83 8.3. Now let's see whether it is correct or not. So if I calculate it manually, I'll give here as an equal to sign. Now here you can see the total score, it is coming 666. So what I'll do, I'll select here as a 666, divide by, so there are number of student here as a 8. So what I'll do, I'll divide by 8 here just to see if the formula is fine or not. So here also you can see it is coming as a 83.25, which is round figure what they have taken. So this is also absolutely fine. Now let's see the fourth formula here where you want to calculate the sales department total score average. So I want to calculate. So you can see we have a various department here like sales, IT, HR. So in this case, I want to calculate sales department score. So how much total score here? So you can see it says this is in sales department, this is in sales department, this is in sales department. So I want to calculate this sales department, the complete total score, but I also want to calculate the average of these sales department here. So in this case, what I'll do, let's just see here. So I'll select here as an equal to sign. And then what I'll do, I'll write here as a if error. And then I will select here as your from where to where I want to calculate. I want to calculate here as a in sales department as a which is like D6 to D13. So I'll select your this detail here, D6 to D13. Actually, hold on. I have to give one more formula here. So I'll just go back from here. So if error, and here what I'll do, if error, I will open up this bracket, and I want to write here as an average because I want to calculate the average of sales department. So I'll write here as an average if, and then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to open this bracket here. With this opening of bracket, so I want to calculate from your D6 to D13, and then I'll give here as a for which particular department you want. I want the sales department, so I'll select this and I'll close this here. Then I'll again give this comma, and from which score to which score. So for all these score I want to calculate this, and I'll close the bracket again here. And then what I'll do, I'll give you a comma, and let's write also here as a no data, and then again inverted comma, and then this close the bracket and press enter. So you can see total it is coming as a 85. So 85 is the average of a total sales department. Let's see whether it is correct or not. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to calculate first the total sales department score. So which is 85 plus 95 plus 74. So this is the total which is coming. So 254. And in this, what we're going to do, 254, let's see the average. So if I select your this detail and divide it by 3, because the total three sales department here, 1, 2, and 3. So if I divide by 3, it is coming as a 84.6. I think it has calculated the round figure. So this is how you can see, you can calculate your um, total sales formula, but average of total sales formula here. Acha, if I want to calculate total, let's move on with the next one. Now, in this one, what I'll do, I'll calculate total team, IT team here. So in this case, what I'll do, I'll give this here. Acha, above one, it is total sale, but average. This one is total team. So this is very simple. So in this case, I'll give it as a sum if. Again, I will open the bracket here. So what I want to calculate, total team here in this one. So in this case, total team, I will select again this as my department. And into my this department, what I want to calculate, I want to calculate total IT team here, right? So in this case, I'll come here, and I'm going to write here as your IT, close this, comma, and after this, from which score you want. So these are the score which I want. I want the total of total IT team. If I press enter, you can see it is coming as a 246. Now let's just calculate this manually and see whether it is it is fine or not. So IT team here as a 92 plus 63 plus 91. So you can see 246, it is coming as manually also. And here also with this formula also, it is working absolutely fine. See, manual, it is fine. I mean, it gives you the, but when your data is small, but if your data is very big, then you have to use the formula. So I'm showing you both the ways how you can put the formula and how in a simple way you can just give your as a formula and you can do this calculation. Now let's see. I want to see how many people they have achieved above 80. So you can see these are the like score it is coming here. And I want to sum all these people. I want to sum all these in all the department. How many people they have achieved? What is the sum total of coming above 80 here? So let's see how we can do. So I'll give here as a equal to formula, and then I'll give it as a sum if, and from your sum if, what do you want to see? I want to see which is total how many, how much is the total coming for above 80 score. So I'll select it. This is my range here, all these range which I want. So I'll give here as a comma again here. And after giving this comma, I will give here as your, um, here I'll select it. I'll give this inverted comma. With this inverted comma, what I want more than 80. to calculate. All those people who have achieved more than 80, so I want the sum only for that. And then I'll close this with the inverted comma. I'll give this comma here. And after giving this comma, from which range to which range I want? I want from this range here. So again, I'll close this bracket and press enter. So you can see total it is coming as a 451. Now let's see manually also whether it is fine or not. So first we need to figure it out how many people here. I think there is one person here and there are two people here who have achieved less than 80. So let's do the manual calculation also and see whether it is fine or not. So 85 plus 92. Now 78 is less than 80, so I'm not going to calculate this, plus 95 plus your, acha, this 63 is also less, so 88 and plus 91. So it is coming 451. So you can see this is also absolutely fine. Now, the next formula we're going to see how we can calculate the incentive scoring. So in incentive scoring, what we are going to calculate, so which means how many incentive means your bonus, what they have got. So I'm going to see that, how much your incentive, what people they have achieved, which means score into bonus. See, manually, if you will do, it will take lots of time. So let's see that with the formula how much incentive people they have achieved. I want the sum of that. So equal to sign, and what I'm going to do, sum, and then I'm going to write here as a product, sum product, and then I'm going to open the bracket here. So from where to where I want this from C6 to C13. Then I'll give here as a comma. And what I want this to be bonus to be, this calculated. So in this case, I'm going to select it from E6 to E13. And then I'm going to close this. So if I do that here, which answer is coming is a 56 into 36. So this is your incentive, what people they have achieved. When you do that, all these, you can see how much is the bonus, what people they have achieved, which is 56.36. So let's manually also calculate and see whether it is fine or not. So what I'll do, 85 into your this 5%. Let's calculate for all. Then this into your this, which is coming as a 5.2. Let's calculate the third one. This into this. Let's calculate the fourth. This into this. Let's calculate even this one also. I think I've taken the fourth one. This is fifth. This into this. Then this into this. And then your last two. This into this. And the last one. So here it is. This into this. Now let's see how much is the total is coming here. So this plus sum of all these detail, I am going to see whether it is giving me the correct result or not. So this plus your this section, and plus your this section, and press into. So you can see the result is coming 56.36. So this result is also absolutely fine, which is you calculating your incentive scoring. So this is what the incentive, what people they have achieved. Then you have a trim total. Acha, what is the meaning of a trim total? In some of the batches, which I was taking, so I realized that people they're not aware of a trim total. Trim total means I'm going to remove the very low and very high score. So whoever has achieved very high score, like this 95 is the highest score. I do not want to calculate this. And very low score also, which is this one, 63. I do not want the system to calculate this. And I want the sum of other people. So let's see how we can do here. So I'm going to calculate as a sum. And I'm going to give here as your sum. With this sum, I'm going to give here as a detail from C6 to C13. And then I'm going to close this, and I want to minus, um, uh, you know, which is into your, again from C6 to C13, then again minus maximum, then maximum score also. I want this to minus. From where do you want to, like remove this maximum? From this same score only. And then what I'll do, I'll close this and press enter. So you can see the result, it is coming in as a 508. Now let's just calculate this, whether it is fine or not. So if I see here, so I think 95 and 63, I'm not going to calculate. And the rest of them, I'm going to sum this 85 plus 92 plus 78 plus, I think this is the highest and this is the lowest. So this is what the trim total actually it means. So removing the highest and lowest. Then I'm going to calculate this, calculate your this, and then calculate. No, hold on. Acha, no, that's fine. So you can see 508 it is coming. So here also, this is also absolutely fine. Now let's see your passing score. And with this passing score, I want to calculate some only score, which means people who have achieved more than 80%. 80 score here, whoever has achieved 80 score. So I want to calculate their passing score. So here, I'm going to calculate this equal to sign, and I'm going to write it as a sum product. So sum product, and in this case, what I'll do here, I'll give here as a double bracket here. Then I want to calculate here as a C6 to C13. I'm going to calculate, and C6 to C13. And then what I want here as a greater than, 80. Then I'm going to close this, and I'm going to do that into. And then again, I'm going to open this here bracket, and from which score to which score you want. So from here to here, I want to calculate this, passing score, all those people who have achieved more than 80. And then I'm going to close this. There is something wrong here. What is saying? It's giving me 451 result. Okay, 451. So let's calculate this sum of total score who have achieved more than 80. So this is more than 80. This is more than 80. 78 is not more than 80. This is fine. Then your this is fine. This is not correct. Then this is fine. So 451, you can see 451 it is coming. And now let's calculate the last one. So last one it is, I want to calculate the total budget. Budget in a sense. So here you can see like total salary in thousand here. So you can see these are the employee and this is their salary. So I want to calculate this into your, like into your thousand. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give it as a equal to sign, sum, and then here open the bracket. I want to calculate all these people who are, and then I'm going to close this and divide it by 1000 here. So now you can see this is coming as a 468. So this is coming here as a 468. Now let's manually also do that and see whether it is working or not. So here, if I do that sum, and if I calculate this from here, and let's see that. So it is coming as a 468, and it should be divided by 1000 now, right? So this divided by 1000, you can see 468 is coming. So this is also coming absolutely fine, right? So that's salary total in 1000. So this is how you can see, you can calculate your sum. So I'll stop the session here. And in the next session, we're going to see all these average formula here. And so, we'll calculate your average into the next session. So I'll stop it here. So like this team, you can calculate your all these detail and in this one, we have calculated all with the sum formula with a 10 example. And the next one will see that average with the 10 example. Right, team, if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We'll send you this Excel sheet with all these formula. All right, so I'll stop the session here. Hi team, let's start today's session. In today's session, we're going to discuss about average, what is average, and so let's go ahead and see what is average. So average is nothing, it's just a function in the Microsoft Excel which calculates your mean value. So in simple word, average is nothing. It's just your, sum of all value divided by number of value. So here you can see these are your sum, and if you divide by the number, so you get your average value. Then let's also see, like, with another example, what is how we can use average. Like here, you can see you have a student A, B, C, D, E, and with their marks, which is mentioned. And if you want to find out their average, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and so here you can see like these are the student and these are the marks. So what we're going to do, we're going to find out their average. So if you add this total, so it will come here as a 400, and the number of student you can see it is 5. So if you want to find out the average for this, so here you can see 400 divided by 5, which is coming as a 80. So this is a average your marks which is coming here. So what does it mean? It means out of all these people, so average is 80. So people who have, their marks which is coming less than 80, they are below. Their marks is not good, but people whose marks is above 80, they are good student. And people who are below 80, they are not good student. So that is what is a purpose of average. Now, where we can use average we can use in your for your student mark analysis. We can use average for sales performance. We can also use average for the employee rating and also for monthly expenses rating. So these are the purpose we can use averages. So what is the purpose of average? Average purpose it is to find overall performance and the trend. So we'll see that what is a purpose of why we have to find out the average. So here you can see the average function is used to find a single value that represent a group of numbers. So that is the whole purpose of your average it is, and it quickly help to understand overall performance or the trend instead of checking each individual number. Like for example, you can see here, so the purpose of average it is to understand the overall performance. How do we understand the overall performance? Like for example, here you can see we have the marks achieved by people, student it is 60, 70, 80, 90, and if you try to find out the average, it is 75. So, which means that people who have achieved more than 75, they are good student. People who have achieved less than 75, they are, below student. Then you also use average to compare data. Like for example, you can see team A, it is like average sale, it is 5,000. Team B, average say, sale, it is 6,500. So in this case, what do you know? That the team B is a better performance. So we also use average for the comparing your data. Now, we also use average to identify the trend, like which is to see the report into increase or decrease over time. Monthly expenses average help to track spending habit. If it is increasing or it is decreasing, right? So in that case, you can control your habit. Average we also use for better decision making. Like for example, if the average is coming customer rating, it is coming 4.5, it is a good product. But if it is less than 4.5, that's where you understand you need improvement. Like for example, in this case, you can see the average rating, it is coming 2.0. It means it's need improvement because it is falling less than 4.5. So that is also the purpose you can use average. Average you can also use, like for example, in 5 days you have earned 500, 700, 300, 900, and 600. The average it is coming as a 600. So if somebody asks you how much you earn, so you can tell them, on an average you earn 600 per day. So these are the purpose that we figure it out your average. Now let's see how we can calculate average on Excel sheet. So I'll come here on Excel sheet. So this is my Excel sheet, and we're going to calculate all your average formula. So there are total 10 average formula we're going to see today. In the last session, we have already seen the sum. In today's session, we're going to see the average. I'm going to hide this so that we get a bigger screen. So here I have hidden that. And in this case, what we going to do? So, so in the last session, we have already seen with the sum. And in today's session, we're going to go ahead with the average. So here you can see average. And we have here as a 10 formula. So let's go ahead and see how we can calculate an average. So again, these are the number of students, these are the name of student, these are their score, this is their which department it is coming. So we'll also see that with the various department, how much is the average is coming. Then after that, you can see the bonus, you have a salary, you have a grade. So let's find out the average here. So what we have to do, we have to figure it out your class average. So how much is the class average it is coming? So we'll do that average here. So we'll give here as an equal to sign and we'll type it as a average here. So average, and then what we're going to do? We're going to put the bracket and these are the score. I'll select all these score and figure it out. So it is coming as a 83.25. So this is your average it is coming. And so this is how you calculate your average team. So if you want to see that manual way also, so let's see that manual way. If you calculate your all these sections, if I take it here as a sum, and if I calculate your all these again into, so you can see the sum it is coming as 666, and if I figure it out the average, this divided by the number of students, which is 8, it is coming as a 83.25. So this is another way you can do the manual calculation, and this is the way you can put your formula and do the calculation. Now, second formula it is to find the average for for the subset. In this case, subset we're going to take the first three student average, which is like for Rahul Sharma, Anita, and Mohan Gupta. And also, team, like lots of people they were requesting for the Excel sheet I can share. So share your comment, your email ID if you want this Excel template. I'll share it. This Excel sheet with you. So we're going to see the subset of your first three student, which is like for Rahul Sharma, Anita, and Mohan Gupta. So let's go ahead and check your how much is the average it is coming. So what I'll do, I'll give here again as a equal to sign and give here as a average here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the bracket. So select from here, which is your C6 to your 6, C8. Close the bracket and press enter. So here you can see average it is coming as a 85. Let's check the manual calculation also, whether it is working or not. So I'll sum this here and sum these three, student here detail, which is coming as a 2555. And what I'll do, I'll select as a 255 and divide it by 3. So you can see it is coming as a 85. So answer is absolutely fine. Now let's move on with the third formula. Third formula it is, we find it out. Sales performance team, you can see that there are various departments here, sales, IT, and HR. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find out, the sales performance team, how the sales performance team is performing and their average is coming. So what I'll do, I'll select here as a equal to sign and here I'll give here as a average if, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this all these department, which is from D6 to D13. So I'll select your all these your department here, give the comma here, and for which department I want to find it out, I want to find it out for sales. So I'll give here as an inverted comma and give here as a sales, close the inverted comma, give comma here, and for which sales average you want. So I'll select your which is from your C6 to C13. So again, I'll select here, which is from C6 to your C13. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to close the bracket here. So close your bracket here and then press enter. So you can see the answer is coming as a 84.67. So this is your sales team formula. It is coming. Let's calculate this manually also and check whether it is coming properly or not. So sales team, which is like what I'll do, I'll click here as a 85, then 95, and then I'll click here as a 74. If I press the enter here, which is coming as a 254, let's divide this by 3. So if I divide this by 3, it is coming as a 84.60 and 7, it has just rounded it. So you can see answer is coming absolutely fine. Now, similar way, just the way we have done it for your sales department, you can figure it out for the IT department also. So let's see, IT team performance. So I'll select this here and I'll give here as a equal to sign, give here as an average. And after giving this average, I'll give here as a average if, open the bracket here, and I'll select my department here because this time I want to figure it out for the IT department. I'll select this IT department, which is from D6 to D13. I'll give the comma here. After giving comma, with the inverted comma, I'll give here as an IT. Close the inverted comma, give the comma, and then what is the value which you want? I want to select from the C6 to C13 and then close the bracket. Press enter. You can see it is coming as a 82. Average is coming. So let's figure it out for the IT department also here. So I'll give you an equal to sign. 92 plus your 63, then plus your 91, it is coming. So if I press enter, it is coming as a 246. And if I divide this again by 3 here, let's see how much it is coming. It is coming as 82. So here you can see this is coming absolutely fine. Now let's calculate some other formula also. Now in this one, what I want to do, I want to figure it out, the high performance average. The high performance average means people who have a score, you can see the average score above 80. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to figure it out the average score, which is coming as above 80. So all those people have achieved average score above 80 in the. So I'll select your this section, give here as a equal to sign. And here I will type here as an average if. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the bracket. So from which value to which value I want? I want from C6 to C13. I'll select your this value, give comma here. And what I want here, I want people average, to find it out the greater than 80. For only the people who have a score greater than 80, I want to figure out their average. And then here I'll write as a greater to sign and 80, close inverted comma. Give the comma again here. And from which value to which value you want? Again from C6 to C13 and close the bracket. Now here you can see the average is coming here as a 90.20 for all those people who have achieved above 80. Now let's do the manual calculation also and let's see whether it is how this is coming. So I'll give this here as a equal to sign. This is above 80. So I'll select this 85 plus 92. Then this is less than 80. So I'll not select this plus 95. This is also less than 80. I'll not select this plus this. Then this is 91. I'll select this one. So I think there are total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press enter. So you can see 445 it is coming. Let's figure it out their average. 445 divided by 5. It is coming 90.2. So this is also absolutely fine. Now another formula you have, which is to find the average, which is for people who have achieved below 70. So, which is like the struggling student average. So, let's do the same thing here. So, I'll click here as a equal to sign and give here as a average if, and after giving average if, I'll select your this section, and then what I'll do, I'll select this detail from which is C6 to C13, and after that I'll give comma here. Then I will inverted comma. Now I'll give here as a less than 70 because my requirement is I want to find out the for student who are struggling student average, who have a score less than 70. And then I'll close this inverted comma, give the comma here again, and then what I want to do, I want to find out the range from which is C6 to C13. I'll select this range again here, close this bracket, press enter. You can see the result is coming here as a 63. So these are the 63 for people who have achieved less than 70. So these are the struggling student, so let's figure it out here. I'll give this equal to sign. Now here you can see less than 70. I have this one. I have only one person less than 70, right? So these are all more than 70. So here it is, there's 70, it is coming. So there's only one student less than 70, right? I think that's a straightforward, the calculation. There is only one person. So even if I divide this by one also, so it will become 63 only. So that is how you find out your, your average. Now let's find out the average for mean calculation. So this salary. So now we'll move on to the salary part of it, and we'll figure it out what is the average for for the salary in this case. So I'll go ahead with this section. I'll give here as a equal to sign, and I'll write here as a average. With this average, I'm going to open this bracket here, and this time I want to do the for salary. Select it from your range from F6 to F13. Close this and give this here as a equal to sign. Now here you can see it is coming as a 58 point 500 it is coming. So that is what the average salary it is coming here. Let's do the calculation also here. If I do sum here, and if I calculate your all these range from here, which is coming as a 48,500, and let's divide this by 8. So if I divide this by 8 here, you can see again the result is coming as a 58,500. So which is also your mean calculation, it is coming here. Actually, average is also known as a mean. So if you come across somewhere people they're calling it as a mean, so it's a both the same thing here. Now let's find out the average. Here you can see the department wise detail here. So I'll find out the sales average salary in the sales department. So let's see how we can find out the average, value in the sales department only. There are so many department here, which is sales, IT, and HR. So what I'll do, I'll give it as a equal to sign, and then I'll give here as a average, average if, then what I'll do, I'll open this bracket, and after opening this bracket, I'll select this department because I want to figure it out only for the sales department. So here, if I select your this department here, which is from D6 to D13, I'll give a comma here, and then in the inverted comma, I'll write here as a sales. Actually, if you want to find it out for your HR department or IT department, so instead of writing sales, you can write your IT or HR department. So I'll give this comma here again, and then after that, what is the salary which I want to figure it out? The salary it is your F6 to your F13. Close the bracket and press enter. So you can see the result, it has come here as a 58,667. Now let's do the manual calculation also, which is only for the sales department. So if I select this here, sales department, it is this one. Then another sales department, it is this one. Then another sales department, it is this one. So if I press enter and if I divide this by 3, because there is a total 3 sales departments. So here you can see 58,666, right? Which is absolutely fine here. Then let's do this calculation also. So here you can see you have your mean minus the standard deviation, which is like lower performance span. So I'll find out the what is the lower performance span here. So first, let's see the formula here. Now this is a complex calculation. So here, if I come to your this section, what is the purpose of this formula? That's I'll explain to you once we are done with the formula. But as I said, this is a complex calculation. So let's come here. So I'll give here as a equal to sign. And with this equal to sign, what I'll do, I'll write here as an average. Uh, so this average, and then what I'll do, I'll select this score from here. And after selecting this score here, I will close this bracket. And after closing this bracket, I'll give this here as a, because it's asking me to, for the lower performance band, I'll give here as a minus sign and I'll write here as a STD EV. And then what I'll do, I'll open this bracket here and I will do here as your, again, I'll select this range from your C6 to C13. So again, I'll select this C6 to C13, close this bracket here, press enter. Now you can see answer is coming as a 72.40 here. Now how this has been calculated, that also let's figure it out. Now here there is no space, so I'll calculate this here. So what I'll do, I'll write here as a value. Value, it is your this one. So this value is nothing, it's just your these values. So I'll just copy this and give this value here. And then I will write here as a your your mean value. Mean means average. So here I'll just write here as a mean value. How much is a mean value it is coming? So for all these, your mean value it is, I think we calculated somewhere your mean value. So mean value here it is, like you can see, which is coming say 83.25 for all these average, right? So here I'll just write here as a 83.25, 83.25, which is a mean for all. So I'll just take it as a mean for all here. And then what I'll do, I'll find the difference here. So if you find out the difference here, so difference equal to sign, which means this minus this. So you can see there is a difference here. I'll copy your this section and paste it here. So you can see these are the difference which is coming here. And then what I'll do, I'll square this. So if I square this, square means like this into again your this section, and if I press enter you can see this is a square. So similarly I'll just copy this and paste this here. So you can see this is a square, your this section it is coming here. Now what we have to do, we have to find it out total square value what is coming. So if I select your this section here and if I give this sum here, open this bracket, I'll add all your this section, close your bracket here, press enter. Answer is coming as a 825.5 it is coming here. And what is my requirement here? So if you check here as your requirement, it is saying lower performance band minus means minus one standard deviation, right? So what I'm going to do, because there are A student, I'll figure it out minus one standard deviation, which is, here. So what I'll do, I will select your this detail and divide by 7 because it is saying minus one standard deviation. So I'll select your this detail and divide this by 7 instead of 8. I am getting here as a result, which is 117. This is a result which is coming. Now, what is the data it is coming here? So this data, now we have to figure it out the square root for this. So how to figure it out the square root? Square root, let's do here. So if you take it as a 117, so you have to come to the close to the square root. Now, close to the square root, what we will do, we'll take it as a 10.8. And if I figure it out the square root for this one, so this will, if I calculate this into again this, so the square root, it is coming as a 116. Now, this is, I think, it's 116 days, so 17, which is coming here. Now, let's take it as a 10.85. I think it will work. 10.85. And if I figure it out, the square for this, so here into again this section, so you can see 117, which is close to this one. So what does it mean? 10.85 is my square, your this detail it is coming. So here you can see your this is square. All right, so your 117, 10.85, this is your, the value which has come. So, which is like close to this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to come here. And if I give this equal to sign, now we have taken out the average here. So the your this it was the average, it was your 83.25. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this my number here, which is 83.25, and I'm going to minus your 10.85. And if I press enter, you can see the result has come here 72.40. Let me explain you. So this is a result you getting here because the requirement it was to find out for the lower performance span, which is for the 72.40. Now let me calculate something else and tell you what is the purpose of this formula here. So what I'll do, I'll give again here as a equal to sign, and this is my result. And in this case, I'll plus here your 10.85. So this means people who have achieved the score which is 94.10, they are good student, and people who have achieved the score which is 72.40, they are not good student. So all these people of their score is coming as a less than 72.40. So they are not good student here. So you can see this is Priya is not a good student, and this is fine because but people who have achieved in between these two, they are average students. So this is the whole purpose of this formula here. As I told you, it's a bit complex formula. So you can see there's a lot of step we have done here for your this formula. And the last calculation, let's come here and let's also do the last calculation, which is if robust your this calculation here. So what I'll do, I'll find it out for your department here and figure it out what is the result. So let's calculate your robust reporting. So I'll give it as a equal to formula, and I'll type it as a if error, and I will give it as a average if, and then I'll select it from your the department here. I'll figure it out this time. I'll do that for the HR department. So I'll select your this range here, give here as a comma, select it your as an HR department, close this inverted comma, give this comma again, and from which range you want. I want this range from this one to this one, and all right. So I'll close this again the bracket, and once you have closed this bracket here, then what I will do, um, I will give comma here again and write here as a no data. Close this, close the bracket once again. Press enter. You can see the result is coming as a, there is some issue coming here in this one. Let's type it here, I think, and there's some issue. So here I'll give this as your equal to formula. And again, if I type it as a if error, and I will again open the bracket here, and here I'll take it as a average, So you can see average if is coming here. Then I'll select my this range from here. After this range, I'll give this comma here. So for which I want to calculate for HR, close the inverted comma, give this comma here again. And then from which range to which range? This range to this range I want. And then close the bracket, comma here. And then in this inverted comma, right here as a no data here. Close this and close the bracket. So here you can see the result has come here as an 83. I don't know what is wrong with this cell here, but here the result has come here as an 83. So instead of HR department, if you want to write here as a sales department, you can also get the result for the sales department. So like this, you can see this is a average data robust reporting it is coming here. Okay. So with this team, I'll stop this session here. In the next session, we'll see some different calculation and formula. Today's session, we're going to discuss about what is Excel minimum function. So let's see what is Excel minimum function. In Excel minimum function, we're going to calculate, what is the smallest minimum value among all the value which is mentioned. Like for example, here you can see these are the value which is mentioned, and among all these, your value, 2 is the smallest value. So this is what we're going to learn in your today's session, how to calculate the minimum value out of all the listed value. And we're also going to see whether different variation of your minimum, with all those different formula, with the different combination, how we can calculate all the. This is just one of the example which you have taken. We have taken out the 10 different formula to calculate the minimum value with the different variation. Now, after this, like for example, here you can see you have a student which is A, B, C, D, E, and you have their marks. So these are the marks which is listed. You give this formula. This is a basic formula, but we will see from the basic to advanced how we can calculate the basic minimum and also the advanced minimum formula also. So here you will see the result. It is coming as a 63 because this is the lowest value among all the student score. Where we can use this minimum. So we can use this minimum in the lowest monthly sale. We can use this when if you want to figure it out the minimum salary from all the employee. If you also want to figure it out the lowest class marks who has achieved the lowest marks in the class, that also you can figure it out. And then also you can figure it out the best and the worst performance. So these are the where you can use this minimum function. The purpose of using the minimum function in an Excel sheet, one, it is quickly to find out the smallest set of value. Like all these example, you can see the minimum and lowest value, it is coming as a 7. So that is, the purpose of using it. So we use minimum as we have discussed to figure it out the lowest marks, lowest price, and the lowest sales. So that is the purpose that we use your minimum function. We also use minimum for easy comparison, like it helps you to compare the performance by identifying the worst or the minimum value among your data. So whoever has achieved the lowest among your data, so that is also you use to find out. So that's an easy comparison that we do. The third place we use minimum function, that is for the decision making. Like for example, if you have a minimum cost supplier, no, in that case, if you want to go ahead with a minimum one, so you can go ahead with them. Then you can see the least performing product, whichever is your product, which is the least performing. So if you want to make a strategy based on that, so that is the purpose we use minimum. Then also we use for the lowest revenue day. So here you can see if whatever is the revenue day it is coming, so whichever is the lowest one who has achieved, so that also you can figure it out. And based on that, you can plan your strategy. Fourth, you also use for data analysis. Once you know that whoever has achieved the lowest, in that case, you can make your various decision. It helps you for your all these data analysis. So based on that, again, you defined your all the strategy. So that is also used for data analysis. And and this one of the here it is like simple example. It is you can see all these marks and you want to figure it out the lowest. So you can figure it out. This is the lowest one here. So that was your all about lowest detail here. Now let's see how we can calculate this on Excel sheet. So we'll come to your Excel sheet where we're going to figure it out the lowest calculation and everything. And also, team, if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We will send you this Excel sheet. So this is your, in today's session, we're going to focus on the minimum function. And in the another session, we're going to focus on the maximum session, how we can calculate this. So these are the data which you can see the sales performing data. So you have a 8 employee. These are their name. You can see we have their quarter 1 sales result, quarter 2 sales result, quarter 3 sales result, and quarter 4 sales result, and also the annual whatever the sales they have done. So based on all these details, we're going to use minimum function and figure out how we can calculate all these minimum detail. So let's go ahead. I'm going to hide this, some your row so that the screen bigs looks a bit bigger because we're going to put your all the formula in the results section. So let me just hide this. So hide this so you can see now the screen has become a more bigger. Now let's calculate this, whether, how we can calculate this detail here. So you can see the first one, it is coming here. You have to find out the lowest Q1 sales. So who's the worst performer in the quarter 1 sales? So you can see out of all these, your sales data here, we're going to figure it out who's the lowest performer. See if the data, because here we have only 8 employee people here. So it is easier. You can also figure it out manually also. But if you have a large data here, so in that case, it's always better to use formula. So let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to give here as a equal to sign, and I'm going to write here as a minimum. And I'm going to open the bracket here. And from C6 to your C13, because I want to find out for the Q1 sales. And then I'm going to close the bracket here. So you can see the lowest performer who has performed, it is 55,000. So here you can see the quarter 1 lowest performer here, it is 55,000. You can make it out from here also. I mean, he's the lowest one here. So the result also, it is coming the lowest. So this is absolutely fine. The second one, which is coming here as a lowest annual sales. So you can see these are the sales here, and we're going to figure it out who has given the lowest annual sale, which is also the bottom performer in the organization. So again, we'll come here and we'll give here as a equal to sign. I'll give here as a minimum, and after giving as a minimum, so from here, which is G6 to your G13, I'll select it, close the bracket, press enter. You can see this employee, which is like, uh, you have your unit in 100,000. You have a 238,000, which is the lowest performer annual. So you can see this is the lowest annual performer here. So like this, you can figure it out your all these the lowest performer here. Now, let's figure it out. The name of the lowest performer. Who's the employee who has achieved this? Now, obviously, you can make it out. It's a Ravi Kumar, but let's see how we can do that with the formula. So I'll come here. I'll select here as a equal to sign. And what I'll do, I'll give here this time as an index. So I'll give here as an index, and from this index, I want to figure it out who's the lowest performer. So I'll select this range. So my range is coming into the B column. So from B column to your B6 to B13. So I'll select your this detail and I'll give here a comma, and then I'll type it as a match. And so it should match what? It should match your, I'll again give here as a, open the bracket here. And then I want to figure it out the minimum. Again, I will open one more bracket. So minimum, I want to figure it out the sales data here. So I'll select it from your minimum to select it from your G6 to your G13. And then I will close this bracket. And after closing this bracket, again, I will give this comma. And once again, I'll select this from G6 to your G13. Give a comma here, give 0, and then close this bracket here. So this closing of bracket, it is for this one, uh, which you have given. And I think you have to also close this bracket for the main one. So I'll give this double bracket here and press enter. So you can see the lowest performer, annual sales performer, it is Ravi Kumar. Now, since we have already in the previous step, we have seen this is the lowest performer. And this one we have seen it is Ravi Kumar. So here you can see Ravi Kumar detail, it is coming. Ravi is the lowest performer detail here. So that's a third formula. Now let's get down to the fourth formula. Fourth formula, it is minimum excluding 0. So we're going to see how we can figure it out minimum excluding 0. In a sense, who is the top performer and who is the standard performer? That is what I want to figure it out. So that's the two thing which I'll figure it out, that who's the top performer among all these detail and who's the minimum standard performer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to again give here as a equal to sign, and this time I'll give here as a if, and then I'll open the bracket here. So if from your, what I'll do, G6, I have selected here G6 is equal to max. Okay. So in that case, what it should do, it should select it your G6 to your G13 detail here. I'll close the bracket, give a comma. So in between, what I will do, I want to figure out the top performer. Okay, so here I'll select here as a inverted comma, and I'll write here as a top performer. Top performer, close the bracket here and give again a comma. And I also want to figure it out that apart from the top performer, it should also show me the standard performer. Who all are the standard performer? Again, I'll open the bracket here. I'll write here as a standard, and I will close standard, and I will close this bracket here, and then I'll close this bracket here. So press enter. You can see you getting this standard here. So which means this employee is basically who's Rahul Sharma. He's a standard performer, he's not a top performer. Let's use this formula and paste it here to figure it out. Oh, it's giving us some error here. Hold on. Right, see, so here you can see this, since we have given the formula here that it should come with a G6. So G6, and then after that, what we have done, the maximum range, which is from your G6 to G13. So in this case, the maximum range, it will be the top performer, and rest of the people, it will be the standard. So since we have taken here as a G6, so it is taking as a Rahul Sharma is a standard performer. Let's calculate who's the top performer also here. So I'll paste this formula here. And in this case, what I'll do, I'll select here as your, G6. So this one, just write it here, G6. And in this case, again from here, just select your, from the G6 to your G13 here. So that is the standard, and just copy your this detail and paste it here. So it will take it everything here. Now this is G7, but here you have to make these changes, which is G6 to G13. This is also the standard performer. And then again from here, G6 to your G13. This is also the standard performer. Again from here, G6 to your G13. This is also the standard performer. This is again from your G6 to your G13. This is also the standard performer. Then again from G6 to your G13. This is also the standard performer. Now here, again, I'll select it from your G6 to your G13. He's a top performer. And the last one also, let's see. Here it is coming as a top performer, but what it will do. This is also the standard performer. So out of all these people, you can see he's a top performer here, which is 4,78,000, which is Sneha Gupta is a top performer. So like this, you can calculate your all these formula. Then let's come into your another formula here. So you can see the another formula here. It is minimum across all quarter. So in all the quarter, which is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, we're going to find out who has achieved what is the figure which is coming minimum. So let's go ahead and put this formula here. So I'll give here as a equal to sign, and then I'll give here as a minimum. And then what I'll do, I'll open the bracket here. I'll select it from your C6 to C13, give a comma here. Then again, I'll select it from D6 to your D13, give a comma here. Again, I'll select it from your E6 to your E13, give a comma here. And again, select it from your EF to E13 and close the bracket here and press enter. So among all the formula here, which you have given, he's the least performance. This is the least performance figure for Ravi Kumar. So you can see, so like this, you have your, so among all the quarter, which is quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, this is a formula which is showing among all the quarter. This is the lowest figure. Then let's also figure it out your sixth formula here, which is like equivalent to of minimum, which is same as minimum. The first is smallest. So we'll figure it out who's the first is smallest here. So in this case, the first is smallest. So let's figure it out. So I'll give here as a equal to sign, and then I will give here as a small, and then I'll select your this detail, and I'll select it the range from G6 to your G13, give a comma, and give here as a 1 and press enter. So you can see your result is coming as 2 lakh 30,000. So here you can see he's the your smallest performer here, like same as a minimum. This is same as a minimum, like who's a minimum, but the first is smallest. So here is the first is smallest here. And if you want to figure it out who's the second smallest, so if I change this instead of 1, if I give this 2 here, you will see the second smallest is coming as a 2,73,000. Now, obviously, this is more than this one. So he's the second least performer in the company. So like this, you can give your formula here if you want to figure it out who's the least performer and who's the second least performer or the third least performer you can give. Actually, here they already have a second lowest performer. Okay, so let's make it as a first because the formula will be the same. He's the lowest one. And in the this one, you can see I want to figure it out the second lowest annual sales performance. So I'll give this here. I'll give here again as a small, open the bracket here. But then I'll select this range from the G6 to your G13. Press enter here. Oh, there's something wrong has gone. What is wrong? Let's do that again. Give here as a equal to sign. Give here as a small, and then open the bracket here. And then I'll select this range from here to your here. Give this comma here, and I want to figure it out the second one here. Close the bracket, press enter. You can see this is a second lowest performer here. And in the third formula, I want to, the next formula, it is a third lowest performer. Same formula here, but we'll make it as a third one here. Equal to sign, right here as a small, open the bracket. When you open the bracket, you can also see, it's also telling you that what you have to do. So you have to select the array. So select your this array from here to here. And then after that, you can see it is asking you the number, which number. So I want to figure it out the third one. And I'll close the bracket, give here. So you can see this is the third lowest annual sales performer, which is 29,000. 22 lakh 95,000. So here, if I can, Amit Verma is the one. So here is the lowest performer, third lowest performer here. So like this, you can give all these formula and let's move on to the next one. Next one, it is minimum as a percentage of average. How far is below average? So I want to figure it out how far is the below average here. So I'll give your all these below average formula here. Let's do that here. So I will give equal to sign, and then what I'll do, I'll give here as a minimum. And in this minimum, I'll open this bracket. So from your G6 to your G13, close this bracket here and then divide it by average. So AVERAGE, and then again open the bracket. And again, I'll select your this detail from here. Close this bracket again here and press enter. So you can see it is coming as a 0.685. So 0.685, what is the meaning of your this section here? The meaning of this section here, we have just figured it out, what is the lowest result that people they have been getting. So what is the purpose of your this formula? Let's understand what is the purpose of your. All right. So now here you can see this is a result which is coming, which is 0.6. So what does it mean? It means like all those people who have achieved less than 1, they are not a good performer, and only the people who have achieved more than 1, they are the good performer here. So this is how you actually calculate your this like for example, you can see the minimum also you're figuring it out, and then average also you're figuring it out. So who is the minimum here? Minimum here, we know that it is Ravi Kumar, so which is 55,000. So let's see that here, which is like if you calculate this manually also, which is 2,38,000. So this is the minimum annual sales, and we also going to figure it out the average part of it. So if I calculate this here, and if I write your average here, I think somewhere we have given this average. No, no, I don't. Let's calculate this average also here. So I'll give here as a average, and then if I open this bracket here, so I want to figure it out the average. For average means nothing, just a mean. So this is a mean here. And what I'll do, I'll divide this figure, divide by this one. So you can see 0.68 it is coming here, which means this employee is far below performer than 1. If you have achieved 1, it means it is fine. If you have achieved less than 1, it means you're not a good performer. So like this, you can figure it out for this one. Just the way I figured it out for the minimum one, you can also go ahead and figure it out for the rest of the people also in the similar way, like whether they are a good performer or they are a bad performer. So like this is a formula which you use to, figure it out, the good performer or the bad performer. And let's see the last one here, which is your improvement potential. What is the improvement potential in all these people? So I'll give here as a equal to sign, and I'll write here as a average. So this average, I'll select here, and I'll select it from your G6 to your G13, and I will close this bracket here. Then I'll figure it out what is your minimum, and then again I'll select it from your G6 to your G13, and then I will close it. So if I press enter, you can see here. So so this is like you can see 1 lakh, uh, you know, 9,250. So this is the amount, like this person is differs to make him a good performer. So this is the total value. It's like, that he should increase. See, in the above one, we have figured it out that how far they are, uh, you know, like in terms of an average, that how far they have to increase. Like, for example, if you achieve 1, in that case, you're a good performer. But if it is less than 1%, it is you're not a good performer. But how far is the amount they should increase to become a good performer? This is the amount they should increase to the good performer. So this was all the formula team which we have calculated for the minimum. In the next session, we will also calculate for the maximum formula. So again, we'll have a 10 different example for the maximum, and we'll go ahead with that. So with this, I'll stop this session. And also team, if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We will send you this Excel sheet. Chalo, okay team. Hi team, let's start with the Excel series that we have started. And in today's session, we're going to learn how to use the maximum function. So let's see what is the maximum function. The maximum function is used to quickly find the highest value in the set of numbers. So if you have multiple numbers, so in that case, if you use a formula, it will tell you the what is the highest value in that. So it is nothing, it's just to identify top data instantly. So with the Excel formula, you can identify the top data instantly. Like for example, here you can see you have a name. So there are four people here, and these are their marks they have achieved. Now, this data is very small. You can make it out just by looking at it. But if the data is a huge data, in that case, you can use a formula to find out who's the highest score in this. So you can use this formula here, and you can see the result is coming as a 95. So here you can see the mark 95 is the highest one, and the person who has achieved its name is Aman. So Aman is a top performer in this case. So that is the purpose of using the maximum function. Now, what is a like in real life uses where we can use this maximum? We can use this maximum in when you if you have a sales figure, you want to figure it out who's the highest done sales in a particular month. So you can use this. Then you can also use to find out the maximum salary in a company, the person who's getting the maximum salary. You can also find out the person who has got the best score in exam and also the peak performance tracking. So these are the main purpose. We use the maximum function and why we use maximum to find the top performance. So, to figure it out the top performance. And here you can see if you have any data, so it will check from that data and give you the top performance. So, and also it's like, it gives you the highest mark in a class, the best salesperson, the top performing product. So like this, you can figure it out and then you can plan your strategy based on this. The second reason why we use maximum is to do the data analysis. Now, why do we do data analysis? We do data analysis to help quickly understand the peak value and also to for the report and dashboard and and so these are the purpose that we use the maximum detail here. The third purpose that we use that is for the business insight. So if you want to figure it out the maximum revenue, highest expenses which has happened, and what has been the highest demand. So accordingly, it's like you can plan your all this strategy in your organization. And also it saves lots of time. It reduces chance of mistakes because you're using formulas, so you're not doing any manual calculation. So it will give you the exact result. So these are the purpose that we use your maximum. Now let's see how we can use the maximum on Excel sheet. So this is the Excel sheet and minimum function we have already seen in the last video. So in today's video, so all these minimum function we have seen 10 example. All right, so let's see, how we can see this maximum score. So these are the maximum score. And in the last session, we have also seen that, these are the sample data we have. Here we have a 8 employee data with their name. We can also see the quarter one sales, quarter two sales, quarter three sales, and quarter four sales. And in the combination of all these are their annual sales. So what we're going to find out, Acha, if you want this sheet team, just comment your email ID. We'll send you this Excel sheet so that you can also practice this. Now here you can see the first formula it is to find the highest Q1 sales. Now this is your Q1 sales and we want to find out among all these 8 employee, who's the highest, Q1 sales has done. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a equal to sign and then we're going to write here as a max. Then open your bracket, select your range from this one, which is C6 to C13, close this bracket and press enter. So you can see the highest sales value it is 1 lakh 15,000, which is Sneha Gupta has achieved. So this is how you can do find out the Q1's highest sales. Now let's move on with the next formula. The next formula it is highest annual sale. So this is the annual sale. So you can see there is a lot of data here. So let's find it out who's the highest annual sales who has done. So again, I'll press here as a equal to sign. I'll write my formula here, which is a max. Open the bracket here, select my range, which is from G6 to G13, and press enter. Now here you can see 4,78,000 is the maximum annual sales version, so which is at this figure, which is done by the Sneha Gupta. Now, I want to figure it out with my next formula that who's the top performer here. Now, obviously, you can make it out from this annual sale. It is Sneha Gupta. But if the data it is huge, you can find it out who's the person who has done the top performer. So let's do that. So again, I'll press here as a equal to sign and I'll write here as a index. Index, then I'll open the bracket here. So first thing which I want, who's the top performer here. So I'll select this range, give this comma here and write as a match here. Once you write match here, then again open a bracket and then write here as a max and again open the bracket. And from this range you want, which is from G6 to G13, close the bracket, give comma here, and again select this range, which is from your G6 to G13, give comma here, give write 0 here. 0 you're writing so that you get the exact match here, and then close the bracket here. Press enter. So you can see here, Sneha Gupta is a person who's a top performer. Obviously, we can make it out from here also. It is a Sneha Gupta who's a top performer here. Now, let's assume that if you want to figure it out, your second best performer. So how are we going to do that? So I want to figure it out the second best performer. I'll click here as a equal to sign. And in this equal to sign, I'll write here as an index. So once you write here as an index, open the bracket, and this is a range for the name of people I want. And I will give comma here, then I'll give match. And after writing match here, what I'll do, I will again open the bracket here. And in this case, I'll write here as a large. So large, and then what I'll do, I'll again open the bracket. From this range I want, from G6 to G13. And after that, I will give comma here. Now I want to find out the second highest revenue who has given to me. So I've written here as a second, and then close your bracket. And after closing the bracket, then again select your range, from which range to which range you want. Okay, give your, so here, again I have given this. And if I give this comma here, then again select this range from here to here. And then again give your comma here, give your 0, and then close this bracket. So you can see it is Mohan Gupta who is coming. So Mohan Gupta has given 4,28,000, which is this one. Now, if you want to find out the third one, so what you can do in the same formula, just instead of 2, make it 3. So you can see third one, it is Priya Gupta. After 42, I think Priya Gupta has the highest sale, which is the third highest, which is 3,73,000. So like this, you can write your all the formula. Now let's move on with the next formula here. So here you can see same as maximum, the first largest. So what I want to do, I want to find out who is the person, what is the highest annual sales which we have achieved. So what I'll do, I'll press here as a equal to sign. And after pressing here as a equal to sign, what I'll write here as a large. And then I'll open the bracket. I'll select this range from here to here. And then I will give comma here. I'll write here as a 1 and close the bracket here. Press enter. So you can see the highest sales, annual sale, which is 4,78,000. In the next formula, you can see we have the second highest sale. Now let's find out who the second highest sales. Same formula here, equal to sign. I'll write here as a large. And with this large here, I'll again open the bracket. And again select this range from G6 to G13. Give comma here and give this second and press here, close the bracket here. So you can see the next highest sale it is 4,28,000. Now let's also find it out, the third highest sales. So again, I'll give this equal to sign, large, open the bracket, and I'll select this annual range from here, and then give comma, give here as a third, and press enter. So you can see 3,73,000, which is this one, which is Priya Patel. Now let's move on with the next formula here. So here you can see it is asking me to range spread of sales. Now, what is the meaning of range spread of sales? So this is a performance speed, which is like I want to figure it out, the gap between the best and the worst performer. How much is the gap which is there? So that is what I want to figure it out. Like, for example, let's suppose whoever is the best performer and whoever is the worst performer, what is the the range which is coming, the gap which is coming. So what I'll do, I'll press here as a equal to sign, and I will write here as your max. And then again, I will open the bracket. Select this range from G6 to G13. And then I will close this bracket. I'll use minus to sign. And then I'll write here as a minimum. And after minimum, again, I will open the bracket, select again this range from G6 to G13 and close this bracket and press enter. So you can see the range which is actually coming here, which is 2,40,000, which is a difference between from the top performer to the worst performer. Let's actually do that manually also and see. So the top performer is this one, which is 4,78,000. And the worst performer, it is, I think this one is the worst performer, 23,000, 2,83,000, 2,38,000 here. So let's find out the difference here. So here, if I select this minus this figure, so which is actually coming with this figure also. So like this also manually if you want to do, but formula is always better because this data is a small. So you can do that manual calculation. But if a data is a huge one, in that case, it is important to, work with the formula. Then let's move on with the next formula here. So with the next formula, you can see top performance percentage of total. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find it out what is a percentage of my top contributor. Like you can see there are total eight people here, and this is my top performer. So how much percentage he's contributing for the annual sale in my company. So I'll select here as a equal to sign. With this equal to sign, what I'll do, I'll write here as a max, and then I will open the bracket here. I'll select this range from here, which is your B6 to your B13, because I want to find it out, the gap between the, so the percentage of my top performer here. And then what I'll do, I'll close this bracket here. After closing this bracket, I'll give here as a forward slash sign. And then what I'll do, I will sum this. Somewhat, I'll open this bracket, which is your this amount to your G6 to your G13, and then close your bracket here and press enter. So here it is coming as a 0. Oh, okay. I think, hold on, team. This is not your B6 to your B13, so you have to find out the top performer from here. So in this case, this is G6 to your G13. G6 to your G13. Now press enter. So you can see here, which is coming as a 17%, 17.2% is a percentage share of a top performer here. So like this, you can find out the top performer, like how much is a percentage for each of your employee. So this is a formula which you can use. Now let's move on with the next formula here. Now in the next formula, what I want to figure it out, who's the top performer and who's the standard performer. So out of these eight people here, so you can figure it out who's the top performer and who's the standard performer. So what I'll do, I'll press here as a equal to sign, and with this equal to sign, I'll write here as a if, I will open the bracket and then I'll select here as a G6 because I want to see the Rahul Sharma, whether he's a top performer or not. So I selected only one figure, which is G6. And then I'll select here as a equal to sign, max, and then open this bracket here again. And then again select your range from your G6 to your G13. Close the bracket, give comma sign here, and in the inverted comma, write here as a top. Top, close this inverted comma, give comma here again, and again with the inverted comma, just type here as a standard here, and then again close the inverted comma and close the bracket also here. Press enter, you can see Rahul Sharma is a standard performer here in this case. Now instead of G6, I want to find it out for the G7. So you can see this one also, your Anita is also your the standard performer. Now we know that Sneha Gupta is your top performer here, so which is actually the range of your G12. So I'll what I'll do, I'll give here as a G12 here. So instead of 7, I'll make the manual changes here as a G12. Now you can see it is giving you the top performer, right? So like this, you can figure it out who's the top performer and who's the standard performer. And the last calculation we have here today, it is find the maximum score for all the quarter here. So you can see quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, and I want to find out who has achieved the in which quarter who has achieved the highest score. So what I'll do, I'll give here as a equal to sign. I'll write here as a max, and then I'll open the bracket here. So this is my quarter one. I'll select this range in the quarter one, give comma here. Again, select this range from the quarter two, give comma here. Again, select this range from quarter three, give comma here, and again select this range from your quarter four, and then close the bracket here. After closing the bracket, press enter. You can see among all the quarter, 1,25,000 is the highest salesperson has done. Now let's figure it out where it. I think this is the one. No, this one, 1,25,000. Right? So this is the one, there's no other figure. This is a figure which is like the highest performer here. So like this team, you can use the maximum function and with a 10 different variation, I have tried to show you how you can use the maximum function. Now I'll stop the session here again. Now, once again, that if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We'll send you this Excel sheet. So we'll stop this session here. And in the next video, we'll see some different formula. Hi team, let's start your Excel series that we have started. In today's session, we're going to see what is the difference between count. So we'll see, what is count and what is COUNTA and what is the difference between this. So the first one, it is count. So what is count? Count only counts your numeric value. Like for example, here you can see you have a 10, 5, apple, true, and 12. So if we use the count function, it will count only the numeric value. So the result, it is 3, which is 1, 2, and 3. Now let's see what is COUNTA. So this is example for count. So here you can see we have a 6 cell and the value also. It's the same, the value. Now here, because count only counts the numeric value, which is 1, 2, and 3. So here you can see the result, it is coming as a 3. And this is a formula you give. And here you can see 10, 20, and 30. Now let's see what is COUNTA. COUNTA counts all the value except for blank cell. So you can see here, count all non-empty cell, which means it counts your numeric, it counts your text, it counts your true, false, it counts your any error. So whatever it is, it will count everything except for empty cell. So you can also see here, it ignores the blank cell. So this is, COUNTA ignores a blank cell. Let's see with the example. So again, with the same example here, you can see we have a 6 cell and we have certain value here. So if you give a formula here, COUNTA, and the result, it is 5. because there is only one cell which is blank. So, which is A5 is the only value which is blank. Rest all there are values which is it has counted as a 5. Whereas in count, it only counts the numeric value, which is 1, 2, and 3. Now let's see some of a different variation of a count. Now we have a count blank. Now count blank only counts the blank cell. So again with the same example, you can see cell A to 6 value, which is you have all these value. Now it will count only the blank cell. So if you give this formula, so here you can see result is 1 because A5 is the only cell which is blank here. So count blank only counts the blank cell. Then you have a count if. Count if, when you have a single condition. So we'll see multiple example of a count if where we can use a count if. Now, with the same example, you can see you have your cell and then you have a value. Now here, you can see the example one, count number greater than 15. So we're going to give a formula here, count only the number which is greater than 15. So in this case, you have given here, so that's a one condition we have given. So count if, and we have selected this range, and then we have given greater than 15. So result, it is 2, because you can see it is 20 and 30, whereas 10, it is less than 15. So that is the reason result is only 2. So count if, count, when there is a single condition, it counts. Now let's see another example. Another example we have here, which is count text apple only. So in this case, we have given another, example. So count if we have selected this range and we want only apple to be counted. So here you can see again the result is only coming 1 because A3 is the only cell where you have a value apple. Now let's see one more example. Now in example 3, we want to count all non-empty cell. So we have given the same condition and then we have given the blank cell to be count non-empty cell. So we do not, except for empty cell, we want to count everything. So there is only one blank cell and the rest, all the value has your, actually, if you type as a blank, then it will take it as a value and it will count. But because we could not make it as a blank, so we have written down here as a blank. So in this case, here you can see the result, it is coming 5. So this is how you use a counter. Now there is one more count if s, which is there. In count if s, you can use a multiple condition. So here there is a different example. So you can see these are the cell where you have a 10, 20, apple, 30, blank, and true. The same example. But then here we have a category also. So category B, category, wise we have given. So in this case, we're going to count multiple condition. Let's see the example. So here you can see count number greater than 15 and category B. So that's a two condition. Whereas in the count if, we have taken only the single condition. So again, if I come here, which is count if s, in this case, we're going to count the multiple condition, which is number should be greater than 15 and it should also count the category B. So what we have done, count if s, then we have selected this range, which is this one, and then we have written greater than 15. And then from B1 to B6, it should count only B. Now here you can see result is coming only 2 because there are only two value which is greater than 15, which is 20 and 30 with category B. So 20 is also with the category B and 30 is also with the category B. So like this, you can use your count and then count A. Then we have seen count blank, and then we have also seen count if. Then the fifth one, we have seen count if S. So like this, you can use this in the quick summary. You can see count, it counts only the number. Count A, it counts the non-empty cell, all the non-empty cell, and count blank only counts the empty cell. Count if, it counts with one condition, and count if s counts with the multiple conditions. Now, what is the purpose of count versus count A? We have already seen the example with that. So here you can see count only counts a number. So what the purpose that we use for marks and the scores, sales amounts and the quantity and the unit. So any calculation based data, we use the count. For example, how many students actually have marks. So in this case, if we select all these details, it will give you the how many people they have actually the mark. So it just only counts the number. So that is a purpose that we use count. And let's also see what is the purpose we can use counter. Count A. So count A, it use your all the non-empty cells except for the blank one. So in this case, the purpose it is to count the name center, attendance, and also the form submission. So any data presence which is there, it will check. Like in this case, how many students have submitted data? So it will give you all those results, okay, except for the blank cell. So these are the purpose that we use count A. Now let's see with the example, on an Excel sheet that how we can use count and count A and count blank and then count as count if. So like this, let's come on Excel sheet. So this is the Excel sheet that we have been preparing and and using and explaining to you a lot of other formula also. So here the topic third, it is count number versus non-empty counter. Now, let me just hide this and so that the cell becomes bigger. So I'm going to hide this. So we have hidden this. Now the cell has become bigger and we have a almost like 10 variation, 20 variation in this. All right, team. So we have a 20 variation to show you the count and count A. So let's see. Let's start with the formula and let's see what all variation we have. All right, team. So let's start with your formula. So we're going to put all the formula here in the result and we're going to see what is the result coming. So let's see. So again, this is a score. So you can see the employee. We have a total 8 employee with a score and there are some empty cell also. So these are completely empty, so that we can also use the count a function. Then you can see these are the attendance, these are the remark, these are the department, and these are the joints. And we have a 20 example to your count family. So let's go ahead with this. So the first formula it is count numeric scores only. So this is a score and I want to use a count numeric score only, which means I do not want to count the blank cell. So what we're going to do, we're going to give here as a equal to sign and we're going to type here as a count. And I'm not sure if you're able to see the formula here or not. I think let me make it a different color here. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to type here as a equal sign. Yeah, now it is visible. So if I type here as a equal to sign and if I type here as a count, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my range here. So my range it is because my the thing it is that it should count the numeric scores only and skip the blank one. So I'll select this range from here, which is C6 to C13. And if I close this bracket, if I press enter, you can see the result, it is coming as a 6. Now, obviously, because there is a 2 blank here, so obviously the result, it is coming as a 6. Now, let's move on with the next formula. So the next formula here, I want to count all the non-empty cell. So now we're going to count the non-empty cell. So you can see there are 2 cell which is non-empty. So we're going to count that. So you can see count non-empty cell names. However, in the name, you can see there is no empty cell, but let's give the formula and see. So what we're going to do, we're going to give here as a equal to sign. And this time we're going to give here as a count A. So count A and then open your bracket and select your column from your B6 to your B13. Close the bracket and press enter. So you can see there are total 8 entry which is coming, which is absolutely fine because we have a 8 entry and there is no empty cell. So that is a reason this count non-empty cell. There's no empty cell, so it hasn't counted. Now, let's come to the next formula, which is count non-blank in the score column. So you can see in the score column, we're going to count non-blank cell. So manually also we can see there are six entry here, because we have a total eight entry. Out of eight entry, two entries are blank. So in this case, if I give here as a formula, and again, if I give here as a count A, and then if I select from your B13 to your uh, B6 to your B13 and close the bracket, you will see it will give you the 6 because there are two empty cell here. The next formula here it is, which is count blank score cell. So score is this and count blank cell. So the blank cell it is 2. So let's give here. So if I give here as a equal to sign and I'll give here as a count blank, which is your this option. And then I will select this option, which is from your C6 to your C13. And then if I close this here, so you will see it has given you the two result because it is counting as a empty cell. So here you can see count blank cell. So here there are two blank cell, and that is what it has counted as a two blank cell. And then after this, uh, so why we taken here as a count blank and here we have taken as a count A, that's something which I have already explained to you. So, like for example, count A, it counts all the non-empty cell, including number, text, logical values, which is true, false, and error. So it only ignores the blank cell. And whereas count blank, it only counts the blank cell. So here you can see, like in this one, there is only one blank cell. So result is coming as a 1 here. Now let's see next formula. The next formula here, it is count blank remark. So now in this case, we're going to count the blank remarks. So you can see, I think manually also, you can see there are three blank remark here. So I'm going to give here as a equal to sign and we'll type it as a count a blank, count blank here. So if I give here, select here as a count blank, and then if I again select here as a from E6 to your E13, and if I close this, so you will see it has taken as a 3 because there are three remark which is blank, 1, 2, and 3. So manually also we can see that. Now let's move on with the next formula here. And with the next formula here, what we're going to do, we're going to select it as a count present attendance. So we're going to select here as a count present attendance. So that is a condition. So you can see because we want to count the present only, how many people they are present. So that's a one condition. So for the condition, what we're going to use? So for the condition, we're going to use COUNTIF. If there is a one condition, we're going to use COUNTIF. If there are multiple condition, in that case, count if S. So now because here there is only one condition, so we're going to use a counter. Equal to sign, count if, then open your bracket. So after opening your bracket, what you need to do, so you need to select the range, which is from your D6 to D13. And after this, selecting your D6 to your D13, we want to count only the present. So comma and then inverted comma, I'll write here as a present, and then inverted comma close, and then close the bracket and press enter. Now you can see there are total six people who are present. So if you count manually also, it will show you as a six people who are present. So like this, you can also see your six people detail here. And now the next formula, it is count absent. So in this case, the same formula, but with the absent. Now let's go ahead and say here, again, we will use a count if. So I'll equal to sign count if, and if I open the bracket here, then in this case, what we're going to do, I'm going to again select this range from here to here, and then I'm going to give it as a comma, inverted comma, and I'm going to type it as absent, and then inverted comma close, and then close the bracket. Now press enter. You will see there are two employee who has been absent. So one and the two employee. So like this, you can count your all these formula here. Now let's move on with the next formula. The next formula it is count score above 80. That's again one condition. because we want to count only the score which is above 80. So let's come here. So if I press here as a equal to sign, and again, because there is a one condition, so you have to use if. So if I type here as a count if, and then if I open the bracket here, so with this opening of a bracket, it's asking me to give here as a range, which is because we want to count the score which is above 80. So I'm going to select this range from here. And after selecting this range, I'm going to give this comma here, inverted comma, and then I want to count above 80 score. So here above 80, inverted comma, close, and then close the bracket. Now press enter. You can see there are total 5 people who have achieved a score above 80. Let's count it also here. This is above 80. 1, 2, 3. This is less than 80. So I'm going to count 3, 4, and 5. So it is giving you the 5 result. Now, same formula here, count score above 70. So again, give this here, and I'm going to type it as a count if, and then open the bracket. And in this case, I'm going to give this again, select this range, give a comma here, inverted comma, close, and greater than 70. So this above one, it was greater than 80. This one is greater than 70. Then close your bracket here, press enter. Again, you can see it has given you the 5 result. So people who have achieved above 70, again it is 5. Achha, this is the only one which is less than 70. Okay. Now let's see count score below 70. So if you have a count score below 70, then what we going to do? Obviously, we have only one person here. So let's see here, equal to sign. So I'm going to type here as a count if uh, count it, because there's only one condition, right? Because which is your below 70. So I'm going to type here as your this range, and then I'm going to give a comma here, inverted comma, and this time less than 70, and then your inverted comma close, and then again close the bracket here. Press enter. You can see only one person now, because we know that Eve is the only person who has scored less than 63. So you can see it is showing you your less than 70. Now let's move on with the next formula, which is count sales department member. So I want to count only the sales department member. So in this case, we're going to see, how we can count sales department numbers. Sales department, you can see here, this is the department, and we want to see how many sales department members are there in this. So then again, that is with the one condition. So what we're going to do, we're going to type here as your COUNTIF is equal to your COUNTIF. Again, open the bracket. Select your range, which is from your F6 to F13, and then give your comma here. And again, in the bracket, just write your sales, and then close the inverted comma, close, and close the bracket here. Press enter. You will see it is giving you the 3. So here also manually also you can see 1, 2, and 3 are the only department which has a sales. So it's giving you the sales department. Now, let's also see another condition, which is present and score should be greater than 80. Now, there is a two condition in this, which means I want to count the present employee and also whoever scored less more than 80. So that's a two condition. So in this case, we're going to use your count if as. So here I'm going to press here as a equal to sign, and I'm going to type here as a uh, count if S, and then I'm going to use the open the bracket. And once you open the bracket, so what is your condition? Present and score. So the first one I'm going to select here as a your range, which is from your the score. It is coming here as a present. So you can see the present and the score. So I'll select this range from D6 to your D13, and then I'm going to give it as a comma. So what I want to count the present. So inverted comma and right here as a present, inverted comma, close. And once you give the inverted comma close, give a comma here. And my second condition, it was to count the score which is greater than 80. So what I'm going to give here, I'm going to again select this range, which is from your C6 to your C13. And in this one, I'll give comma here and inverted comma, and then this score should be greater than 80. So that's my two condition, which is your how many people are present and also people who have score greater than 80. So if I press enter here now, you can see it is giving you the four result. So you can see how many people who are present. So you can see this one, but this one is absent. So I do not want to count this. One, two, three, and four. So four people are who have scored more than 80 and also are present. So here the result is coming as a four. Let's move on with the next formula. The next formula it is, I want to count two condition again. IT department, which is here, this one, IT department, and also people who are present. So that's again a two condition. So I'm going to type it as a IT department and your how many people are present. So again, that's a two condition. So I'll type it as a count if S, and in this case, again, I'll open the bracket here. So my first condition, it is IT department. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the IT department. So department is this one. So I'm going to select this range, which is from your F6 to your F13, and then going to give it as a comma here. So what was my condition? I want to count the only the IT department. So I'm going to open this bracket here, and I want to type it as a IT because I want to count only the IT, uh, inverted comma close, and then again give a comma. And my next condition, it was for the people who are present. So again, I'm going to select this range, which is for to find out people who are present. And in this case, again, I'll give a comma here, and in the inverted comma, write present, and then inverted comma close, and then close the bracket. And if I press enter, you can see there is only one. Actually, there is only one person here, which is in the IT department and present. Actually, this one is absent. This one is also absent. And this is only one. Henry is the only one who's present. So that is the result it's giving only one. Now let's move on with the next formula. So next formula it is count non-employee joining date. So here you can see count non-employee joining dates here. So non-employee joining dates here. So in this case, what we're going to do, so here you can see you have your, so joining date for all these employee here. So we're going to count all these. So my count non-empty join date. Acha, so which means except for the blank, it should count all the people when they have joined. So in this case, I'll give here as a equal to sign, and this time because we want to count all the cell except for the blank one, so we're going to give the formula here count A, and again I will select this range because we want to see how many people they have joined. So I'll select this range except for the blank one, and then I'll give you a close this bracket here. And if I press enter, you can see there are six people who are there because two people are joining date is not mentioned. Now another formula it is count missing join dates. So in this case, you can see count missing join dates. So how many people the joining dates are not mentioned. So in this case, we're going to use a count blank. So if I press here a equal to sign, if I type it as a count blank, and then again I'll select this range from G6 to your G13, and in your G6 to your G13 and close the bracket here. If I press enter, you can see two because only two people are blank here, the cell. So that is the reason with the count blank we have found the missing join dates. Now let's move on with the next formula here. So in the next formula, you can see it is coming as a percentage of score filled. So in this case, we want to find it out, the percentage of the score filled which is coming here. So how much is a score filled here? How much is a percentage which is coming out the score filled? So you can see we have a score here in your this section. And so what we're going to do here, I'm going to give it as a count. So I want to count here your score fill. So, and if I select this range here, which is from your C6 to your C13, and then divide this here. So we have to find out the percentage of your score fill. So in this case, after this, we have to also use your counter, because in this case only we can figure it out your percentage of score fill. So I'll give here as a, forward slash, and then this time I'm going to use counter. And with the counter, I want to figure it out your percentage score fill. So here I'll select this range, which is your B6 to your B13. Again, close this. And in this case, if I press enter, you can see it is coming as a 0.75. So this is a result it is coming. So which is in the percentage of your score fill. So this is how uh, you get your all these. Still, let's do the manual calculation also. So first one you can see, um, how many, there are total six people here who have their score. So I'll take it here as a six. And if you want to find it out the percentage of a score fill, so in this case, there are total eight people here. So let's calculate this. 6 divided by 8, how much it is coming? So it is coming 0.6. It's the same formula with the same result here also. So it's a percentage of a score fill. Now let's see with the next formula here. In the next formula, we're going to find out text entries in the score column. So here you can see text entry in the score column. So in this case, if there is your any text entries which are there, so in this case, I don't see any text here. So so if I use here as a equal to sign, and I'm going to use here as a count A, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this range, which is from your G6 to your C6 to your C13, and then close this. And then what I want to do, so again, we want to find it out your, the text entry, if there is any text entry. So which should be minus. So text entry from here, again from the score only. So I'm going to select this and I want to give the formula here, which is count A this time. And then again, I'll open the bracket here. Again, from the same range, I want to see if there is any text score here. And if I close this bracket here, there is no text here. We can see that. So answer is coming as a blank here. So like this, you can see answer is coming as a blank. The next formula it is count empty using COUNTIF. So it means we want to count your empty cell in this case. Alternative to count blank. So we want to find out the how many empty cells are there. So in this case, we're going to use your, so in this case, you can see this count empty using COUNTIF. So this course, there is only two empty cells are here, but let's see how we can find. We have already seen you can use this count blank, but we're going to use this COUNTIF. So count if, and if I open the bracket here, so in this case, I'll select this range. And if I close this bracket here, some issue has come. C6 to your C13. Acha, we have to give the, what do you want to count? We have to give the condition also here. So, comma here, and then inverted comma. I'll close this because you just have to give the blank cell only, nothing else. So if I press enter, you can see answer 2 it is coming. So here we have only two blank cells, so it is giving me the 2 result. Now let's move on with the next formula here, which is count specific remark. So this is a remark here. So you can see all these here. So I think five people specific remark. Which remark do you want to count specific? So in this case, what we're going to do, let's select the good or remark. So we want to count how many people who have achieved a good remark. So in this case, I'm going to give here as a equal to sign, and then because there is only one condition, so we're going to use count if, and then what I'll do here as a, select this remark here, which is your E6 to your E13, And then we're going to give here as a comma, and in the inverted comma, we want to count the good. How many people who have achieved the good remark? Close this and close the bracket also. Press enter. You can see there are two people who received this your good remark. So similarly, if you want to find it out the need work, so you just instead of good, just type it as a need work. It will give you the result. And the last one we have here, team, which is count above average score. So we're going to see here how we can count the above average score. A count above average score. Okay, so count above average. I think there are two conditions here. So first one, we have to sum all these still, and then we have to find out the average. So that's what is saying count above average score. So let's see with the formula how we can do equal to sign. So this time we have to find the average. So we have to sum all these number. So I'm going to use uh, sum product, and in this case, I'm going to select your this range, which is from your C6 to your C13. So C6 to your C13, and then what we have to do, we have to find the people who have achieved greater than the average. So I'm going to type it as a greater than, and then I will type it as a average. So average here. And in this average, again, I'm going to open this bracket and I want to again select this same range from here and then close this bracket here. And again, I think we have to use this. We have used to, you know, this here. So again, one more, I'll close this. And then what we're going to do into one, it is like to give you the exact match and then close this one. So if I press enter here, so here you can see which is coming four people. So four people are the one who have scored above average. So above average also we have seen how we can find it out. Now let's do the manual calculation also for this and see if the result is coming here proper. So first thing, I'll sum here with all these numbers. So I'm just going to use a sum formula here. And if I sum all these number here and press enter, so you can see 514 it is coming. So with this 514, and I want to figure it out the average also for this. So I'm going to type it as a equal to sign. And then what I will do, uh, with this into your average sign. So I'm going to divide this by your 8 people here. So if I select this by your 8, so this is coming as a 64. So which means people who have achieved what the formula we have given greater than average. So people who have achieved more than 64. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 people who are coming. But here it is coming. I think this should be divided by 6. Which is 85, which means people have achieved more than 85. So this is not more than 85. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now it is fine. So you can see. So like this, you can use your count and counter with all the variation we have seen today. So, all right, team, I'll stop the session here. One more thing, if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We'll send you this Excel sheet. Hi, team. Let's start the Excel series for today. So in today's session, we're going to discuss what is round and truncate. So let's see what is a basic difference between round and truncate. So round is nothing. It's just round your number to your the specific digit. That is what your round it is. Now round function basically goes with the logic either round up or either round down. So that's what round does it. So that is the round function actually we use. Now let's see with an example. Like for example, you can see these are the value and here you have your formula. So if you round up your this one, so it will round up to your, you can see 12.7. So here, this figure, it has taken up your as 7. Now you can see 12.64. And again, if you round up, so it has taken 12.6 because this is less than 5. So we just discussed, right? If it is less than 5, it will round down. Then you can see 12.5, it has round. So here you can see 12.5, and now it has taken up here as a 13. So this is what the round means. Now let's see what is trunk team. Let's see what is trunk function. So trunk, nothing, it's just a cut and removal of a decimal. Like in the round one, you round. So here it doesn't round your decimal, it just cut it. So this is what it does, remove the decimal part without rounding. Example, you can see same example which has been taken here. And if I add trunk here, so in this case, 12.67, we want up to one decimal. So you can see it has taken 12.6. Now, same thing here also, if we want one decimal places, so it has taken 12.6. Now here we have taken, we do not want any decimal places, so it has rounded up only to 12. So this is what the trunk means. It doesn't round, it just cut off your round decimals. Now let's see another, there is a int function that is nothing, it's just an integer. Now let's see what is integer. Integer does nothing, it's just a round number down to the nearest whole value. Like for example, you can see 12.67, and if I use as an int integer, so it has rounded up to, you can see 12, rounded down to, then you can see minus 12.67. So here you can see minus, again it has rounded down to minus 13 because it is down to the nearest whole value. So this is what your integer does. Integer always goes down towards a negative infinity. So that is what your integer does. And round up is nothing, it's just a rounding up to your up. Now you can see the base value which is coming here as a 99.99, and if you add up a formula here, round up, so it will give you the result as 100 because it is rounding up. So and no matter how much is the decimal, so it will just round up. Now let's see another formula which is round down. It will always round down. So again, this is a base value. And if I add up my formula here, round down, so it has given me the result for 99. So this is round down. Then there is M round. What is M round? Which is nearest multiple. For example, if the base value is 99.99 and the formula it is M round, which is 99.99, and then we have given 5. So you will see here the result, it is coming as 100. What it is doing, it is rounding to the nearest multiple of 5. Like for example, 95, 100, 105, right? So here this is 99.9. So it is uh, it's giving you the the nearest value, which is 100. So this is what is the meaning of a M round. Then you have also ceiling. What is ceiling? Ceiling at round up to the nearest multiple. So this is again the base value, which is 99.99, and the formula if I add here as ceiling 99.995, the result again it is coming up to 100. Why? Because it's always round on up to nearest multiple of 100. So this is what is your ceiling means. Then there is a floor. Floor is round down to the nearest multiple. Your base value is 99.99 and floor 9. So you can see 99.995. Result it is 95 because it has rounded to the nearest multiple of 5. So the result it is coming as a 95. The key difference between, let's see what is the key difference between all these function. It is round, it is nothing, it's just a round up or round down. Trunk, it's nothing, it's just a cut decimal with no rounding. Integer is nothing, it just always round down to the important for negatives. Round up, it is rounding up. Round down, it is rounding down. M round, it is nearest pricing, which is 5 or 10, whatever it is you want to round out. Ceiling it is like billing unit or packaging, and floor it is we use for inventory and maximum guaranteed value. Then let's see what is a real life example. Again, the let's suppose if your bill amount it is 99.99. So if you want to use round, so it will take up here as 100. Then if you use trunk, it will take up here as a 99 because it removes the decimal. Then integer, it is again giving you the 99. Now, Round up, it will round up. Round down, it will be same figure because it is zero point 0.9 here. M round, again, it is coming with, you can see the value of 5. It is again giving 100. Stealing again, you can see it is, you have given 5. So again, it is 100. Floor, it is, you can see 99.99. And it is 95, which is coming, which is down to the multiple. So these are the real time example. Again, there are some important tips, which is most of the time, they ask during the interview the difference between trunk and versus integer. So you can see trunk, it is nothing, it's just a positive number. And for the negative number, the different example, you can see trunk, it is like you have your point of -5, integer, it is giving as a -6. So if you have a value which is like, -5.9, so it is giving you -5, and integer, it is rounding off to -6. So this is what is the difference it is. Up means rounding up, down means rounding down. Then you have a smart, which is M round. We'll all see with the example on Excel sheet also. So let's go ahead on Excel sheet and see with the same example how we can do that. So this is topic 4, which is round to the to 1 decimal or truncate. Let me hide this so that the sheet looks a bit bigger. So I'm just going to hide this. Now here, this is your my formula it is. So here you can see we have a 10 pricing and the measurement. We have a 10 item here. Then we have a raw prices here. So for all these prices and how many hours you have worked, weight you can see which is there, tax rate which is there, and the discount. So let's go ahead one by one what it is. So the first one, it is coming round price to 1 decimal. So what is round price to 1 decimal? So we're going to take it as a this price and we're going to round this to 1 decimal. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it equal to sign, round, and then we're going to take it as a C6, comma 1. Because what we want to round down to only to decimal 1. And if I press enter here, you can see it is coming as a 12.3 because it has rounded down to 1 decimal now. Now let's see with the next formula, round to the whole number. So this time what we're going to do, we're going to round to the whole number. So I'm going to take it as a equal to sign. I'll take it here as a round. And if I again take this number, which is C6, and I just want to round down to the whole number, I'll give it as a 0. Close the bracket, press enter. Now you can see it has round down to the whole number, which is coming as a 12. If in case if this was as a 5 here, 12.5, it would have taken as a 13. But here it has taken to the whole number as a, because this is zero point 0.5 is less than zero point 0.5. So it has taken as a 12 number only. Next formula, it is round to 2 decimal. So we're going to round this to 2 decimal, and we're going to again give here as a equal to sign. So I'm going to use here as a round, and after round, I'll again take up here as a C6, and I'll take up a comma here, and up to 2 decimal I want, and close the bracket here and press enter. So you can see it has rounded up to 2 decimal. Now let's see some another formula here. Next one, it is coming as a round hours to whole number. So this is your round hours to whole number. Let's see how we can round hours to whole number. So this time it is round hours to whole number. And so this is your hours. So I'll take up here as a equal to sign, and I'll type it as a round. And what I'm going to do, I'll take here as a D6, and then I will, to whole number I want. So I'll write here as a 0 and close the bracket. Now you can see it has taken as a 8 because we have rounded this to your whole number. Then another formula, it is coming round hours to 1 decimal. So let's see how we can round hours to 1 decimal. I'll take up here as a equal to sign. I'll take up here as a round, and again I'll take up here as a D6, and then I'll give comma here round up to 1 decimal. So I'll write here as a 1 and press enter. Now it has rounded to the 1 decimal. Here it was a whole number. Here it is up to 1 decimal I want. Now another one I have here is a round, always round prices up. So this is always round prices up. So we're going to take it as a equal to sign. And what I'm going to do here, I'm type it as a round up. And after round up, I'll take up here as your C6, your this figure. And then what I'll do, comma, and press 1 here, close the bracket. Now you can see this is round, always round to price up. So here this is rounded to price up, which is 12.4 here. So this is up here, 12.4. Now here, which is coming as a round hours up. Now let's see how we can round hours up. So I'll take here as a equal to sign, and I'll take here as a round up. And then what I'll do here, uh, round hours here. So this is my hours, which is into your this hour it is coming. And then I'll write here as your up to round hours up. So in this case, round hour up, and then I'll give here as a 0 and press enter. So you can see it is giving here as a 8 because this is completely round hours up. So we have just rounded this hour, which is 8. Now let's see this one also, which is always round price down. So you can see always round price down here, it is coming. So let's see. So in this case, I'll give here as a equal to sign. Round, I'll take here as a down. And then what I'll do, I'll take here as a hours, which is this one. And then what I'll do here, I'll give comma and 1, close the bracket. And if I press enter, you can see here always round price up here. So round, always round the price down. So here this is coming as a, so this is your this. So here 1. So this is coming here as your always round price down. This is absolutely fine. And or if you want to round it, so like this price, hold on, always write the price down. I think this is what it should come because this is the price down here. So instead of D6, you can make it as a C6. You can see it is coming as a 12.3. And the next formula here, which is starting as a truncate hours to whole. Now, what is truncate? Truncate, that's something I have already explained to you. So let me again come here and explain to you what is truncate. Truncate is nothing, it's just a cut or removal of decimal. So in this case, we're going to truncate hours to whole. So this is hour, and I'm going to truncate this to whole. So what I'll do here, I'll press here as a equal to sign and round down. And with this round down, I'll select here as a D6 and comma, I'll give here as a 0 and then close the bracket. So here you can see truncate hours to whole. So this is your giving the result, which is 7. And then you have your um, remove decimal towards 0. So we're going to use this remove decimal towards 0. So what I'm going to do, I'll press here as a equal to sign, and then I'm going to use this integer, and then I'll select here as a C6 and close the bracket. Now here you can see it has given this to 12 because it has removed after all the decimal. So this is what the truncated does. Now the next formula, it is whole hours only. So we have to do for the whole hours only. So I'll press here as a equal to sign. And what I'll do here, I'll again type here as an integer. And then this time, I'll take here as a D6 and close the bracket, press enter. Now you can see it has given me as a 7, right? So this is your truncate function. The next formula, it is truncate to 1 decimal, not rounded. So this is truncate to 1 decimal here. So we'll take here as a, truncate to 1 decimal. So in this case, what we're going to do, truncate to 1 decimal. So if I press here as a equal to sign, and if I type it as a truncate, and then in this case, I'll take here as a C6 And then I'll type here as a 1 because I want up to one decimal. So here you can see it has taken me as a 12.3. So this is 12.3. Then there is truncate hours to integer. So we'll take here as a truncate hours to integer. So I'll type here as a equal to sign, TRUNC. And then in this case, I'll open the bracket here. I'll select this D6. And since it's asking me to truncate hours to integer, so D6, I'll take here as a 0 and close the bracket. So here you can see, oh, there's a double bracket here. So if I select this, it has given me the 7. Now the next formula it is round to nearest 0.05. Let's see how we can do this round to the nearest 0.05. I'll give here as a equal to sign and I'll give here as a m round. So with this m round, I'll select this your C6. With this C6, I'll give this here because we have the round to the nearest 0.05. So what I'll do, I'll give comma here and I'll give it as a 0.05 and then close this bracket. Press enter. So you can see it has taken as a 12.5. Now, what is the meaning of a round to the nearest 0.05? Let's see with another example. So if I show you with another example here, so this is round to the nearest example, and you can see these are some of the values. So what it will do, it will check your multiple of 0.05 and whichever is the closest value, it will give you. So here you can see 10.02. So if I add this here as a M round C6 to your 0.05, the result is giving me 10 because it is so here you can see it is checking with the multiple of 0.05. Again, 10.03 because now here you can see it is giving me 10.05. Now here again 10.07 it has given me as a 10.05. So if the figure is more than 2, it will round off to the highest one. If the figure is less than 2, less than 3, it will round to the, it will not, it will take only as a this 10 figure. So that is what is the meaning of a round to the nearest one. There's another round to the nearest 0.25 hours. Let's see how we can do this. So what I'll do, I'll give here as a equal to sign. And this time I'm going to use another function, which is CEIL ceiling I'm going to use. And then I'm going to open this bracket. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select as a D6. And then here I'll give it as a 0.5. So because I want this to be rounded to the nearest to 0.5 here. So here I'll take up here as uh, I think there is some thing here round to the nearest. It's not 0.5. I think 0.5 we have already taken. I think this was 0.25 if I'm not mistaken. And let me close this bracket here. So it was 0.25. So here you can see it has taken up here as a 0.25 D6. What formula I have taken? D6 here. And then, hold on. No, not this ceiling. This has to be with M round. M round. And if I press enter, so you can see with this M round, it has taken as a 0.25. Now, what does this mean? Let's another take with another example. So here, if you come here, so you can see round to the nearest 0.25 hours. So 0.25 rounding base means it's a quarter value. So the Excel will round to the zero point 0.00 or 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1 or 1.25. So here you can see 2.12. So the result it is giving you 2 because this is close to your 2. Then to 2.13, it is giving me 2.25. 2.37, it is giving me 2.25 and 2.38, it is giving me 2.50. So this is what your round to the nearest 0.25 it means. The next formula we have here as a round hours up to nearest 0.5. So round hours, which is this one, up to the nearest 0.5. So let's see. So if I take here and I'll take here as a uh, I'll take here as a ceiling. And then what I'm going to do here, I'll take here as a D6, comma 0.5. And if I press enter here, so you can see this is giving me the 8 result here. So this is what it means, the round to the up to the nearest. Now this is up, so here it has taken up here as a 8. Now there is a round hours down to the nearest to 0, 0.5. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'll take here as a equal to sign. And with this equal to sign, I'll take here as a floor. And with this floor, I'll take up here as your D6 again. And in this case, 0.5. Close the bracket. And what I'll do, I'll press enter. Now here you can see it is giving me as a 7.5. So this is because this was round down. So it has given me 7.5, this result. Then another formula you have here is a price plus 18% GST, and it should be rounded. Now the price is 12.5 and it should also plus 18% GST, and plus it should give you the round figure. So let's give the formula here, which is equal to sign, and then I'll take here as a round and I'll open the bracket. Then I'll take C6 and into 18% GST. So 18% GST, which means 1.18. And then what I want, up to, it should be, it was a price plus 18% GST, right? And it should also be rounded. So here, with 2, if I press enter here, you can see answer is coming as a 14.57. Let's see if the answer is also correct. So I know that this is your the price, which is your price, it is 12.349, and then 18%, let's write here 12.349. And with this one, 18% GST, what I'm going to do, this figure into your 18% of your GST. If I give this here, so you can see, now let's sum this together. So if I take this plus your this here, so you can see 15.57. Now it has rounded up to your, so you can see this is how it is coming. Now the next formula here, it is price into tax rate. Now this is your tax rate, which is 5%. So you can see 5, it is coming here. So up to 4 decimal places. So again, what I'll do, I'll give here as a equal to sign. And in this one, I'll take up here as a round. And then I'll take up here as a price. Price is this one, C6. So C6 minus integer and minus integer here. What I'll do, I'll take up here as your, again, your C6, and then close this. And then what my requirement it is? My requirement it is, hold on, I think I'm doing something wrong. What is the formula here? Price into tax rate. Price into tax rate. Okay. So if I come here, I'll take up here as your round. And then what I'll do here, I'll take up here as a price into tax rate. Into tax rate, which is your price into tax rate. So this is a tax rate, which is your F6. And then what I want, up to 4 decimal also I want. So up to 4 decimal. So here it is giving me price C6, price into tax rate. F6 here, this one, into your up to 4 decimal also. So you just give me a minute, team. All right, so this is absolutely fine. Now the last one we have here as a manual rounding logic. So let's give here as a manual rounding logic. So I'll type it as an integer, and then I'll select here as a C6, and then I will close this. So, and after this, what I'll do here, I'll type here as your plus, and I'll type here as a if, and then again I'll open the bracket, then again C6, and then what I'll do here, C6 minus integer, and then again I'll type here as your C6, and then again close the bracket, and then it should be greater than equal to sign, which is your 0.5. Uh, and then after that, I'll give here as your 1, comma, 0, close the bracket. And so you can see this is giving you the 12. So this is what your, manual rounding logic, it is showing up here. So this is how you can do the manual logic. So with this, we'll stop the session here. Now again, team, if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We'll send you this sheet. Hi team, today's topic is absolute variance. So well, in today's session, we're going to see what is absolute variance. Now let's go ahead and check this. So absolute variance means whatever in simple terms, it means that whatever the value it is, whether it's in minus or it's in plus, it will remove all those. It will come into, without minus. It will be like positive. So that's what the absolute variance it means. Like for example, here you can see absolute variance means the number without its sign, whether it's a positive sign or it's a negative sign. Well, if you remove the negative, obviously it is positive. So it means it's always in positive sign. That's what the absolute variance it is. Like here you can see -5. So again, it has become 5. And this side also it is 5. It has again become, -5 again, it has become as a 5. So that's what it means, the number without its sign, whether it's a plus sign or it's a minus sign. So these are some of the example of our absolute variance. Like for example, here you can say 50, and if you give this formula, it has become 50. So it has removed this minus sign. Now positive, obviously it will remain positive only. And then again, 0, there's no minus sign to it. So it has become as a 0. Now, why do we need this? The simple understanding of this, it is, the negative become positive. Positive still stays the same, and then 0 remains 0 only. So that is your absolute variance. The purpose of using an absolute variance, it is, like it gives the magnitude of a number without considering its sign, whether it's a positive or negative. It will give you the without any sign to it. Why do we use this? We use this to ignore the negative sign. So in example, it is like if you have a profit and loss, and if you want to just make the amount, you just want to write the amount, not the direction. So in this case, you can use your profit and, ignore the negative sign. Second purpose, it use to measure the difference or distance. Like for example, here you can see the difference between 80 and 100, it is 20. Then again the difference between 100 and 80, it is again 20, right? So it just removes any kind of a sign. So that is what it absolute variance means. Now also let's see the third example. It makes the data more clear, like confusing negative signs. So it just removes it. It clears your data for the reporting, and again it used for the reporting purpose. So these are the advantage, why we use absolute variance. Now let's see the same example on Excel sheet, how we can use absolute variance. Now, this is my Excel sheet, team, and we're going to see, we're going to use it as an absolute variance. Now, let me hide this so that it becomes a bit bigger. So I've hidden this, and you can see here, this is a financial. Actually, before we start this formula here, team, just want to tell you, if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We'll, email you this Excel template. So here you can see we have a 8 people here with their name, with their score, with the target, with their variance. And then here you can see the variance. It means like score minus target. It is like you can see these are the variance. This minus this, it is -2. So these are the variance we have. In fact, the entire formula will be on this only to remove this plus and minus sign, how we can do that. Then this is a salary and this is a shift. Now let's go ahead with the first formula. First formula, it is Absolute variance, no sign. So we have to see absolute variance, no sign, which is, so this is a variance here, and we don't want any plus sign here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type it as a equal to sign, ABS, open the bracket, select your, um, the cell which you want, close the bracket, and press enter. Now sorry, we have to select this, not this one. So I'll just write here, instead of F6, it is E6. So I'll take it as a E6 and press enter. So you can see it has taken 5. So it has removed this plus sign here. That is what, in the simple terms, actually it means absolute variance. Second formula it is, actually we're going to see the 10 example of an absolute variance. So this is the first one we have already seen. Now second one, it is deviation from the group mean. So we're going to see what is a deviation from the group means. Mean means average. So what is a deviation from the, this your absolute variance and the average. So what we're going to do here, so we're going to type it as a equal to sign, and I'll type it as a absolute variance. And in this case, and I'll select here as a C6. So I just want to see how much this is different from the average. So if I select your this detail here, and then I'm going to select your minus sign, and after minus sign, I'll type it as a average because I want to see how much it is different from the average. I'll close the bracket here. I'll open the bracket again here and select my range from your this range to your C13, and then again close the bracket and press enter. So once you press enter, you can see the deviation, it is coming 175. So it means the average value, it is somewhere around 86.75. So that is the, like the difference from the average it is. If you want to calculate it manually, you can also do that manually. Let's see how we can do that manually. The value it is 85 and I want to calculate the average. So I'll give here as an equal to sign and I'll type here as an average. So average here, I'll take it out from your C6 to your C13, press enter, which is 83.25. And if I take your this amount minus your this amount, this will come as a 1.75. So here also you can see, this is coming as a 1.75. And I told you that means it means nothing. It's just a your average. Now let's see the third formula here. Distance between two score. So what is the distance between two score, which is from your, I'll take it as a, from your, see here, C6 to C7. So what is the distance it is coming? So I'll take up here as an equal to sign, and then I'll write it as an absolute variance. Open the bracket. I'll take it as a C6 minus C7. And absolute signs, because it should come into the minus amount, right? Because this is smaller than this amount. So whatever the figure it will come. But then here you can see I have given absolute, so it will remove this minus or plus sign and then close the bracket. So you can see it is coming as a 7. Normal calculation, if you do, it will show you minus 7. But because here we have used absolute variance, so it has removed this minus sign. Now let's move on with the fourth formula. Fourth formula, it's a bit tricky, which is an mean absolute deviation, which is like you call it as an average absolute deviation. That's what they want to calculate. So let's see with the formula, and then after that, we'll see with the manual calculation also how we can do. So this is a mean, absolute deviation. And I told you that mean, it's nothing, it's just your, average. And then here also you can see they have used the deviation. So I'm going to use the equal to sign, and I'm going to use sum product. Sum product, and then I will use here as an ABS and ABS. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the range from your C6 to your C13 and then minus average. And then I'll again select the range from your C6 to your C13, and then close the bracket. And the third one also, because this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And then after this, what I'm going to do, and we also have to find that out your count also. So divide by count, and then again, I'll take this range from your C6 to your C13, and then close the bracket. Let's see what is the result coming. Result is coming as a 8.69. So you can see your 8.69. Now let's manually see that how we can calculate this. So this is a sum of five formula here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find out what is the average here, average for your C6 to your C13. So let me find out the average. So here I'll take up your average here, or maybe let's take up the average here only. Average, I'll take up your equal to sign, and then I'll type it as an average, and then I'll select my range from your this to this one, and then close the bracket and give this here, which is coming as a 83.25. So this is the average. Let me this for all your this. No, no, no. This is the same figure for all. There's no difference. So if I copy this, and if I will, okay. So this is the average team. So what we have to do, so now we have to find the difference from all this average. So I'll select your this sign, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to find out the difference from your this average. So this is the score minus this one. So if I press enter, it has taken up a 175. And if I scroll down till here, now this score is very high. This is C7 minus, what is this? I6. It should be I6 here. So let's give this I6 here also. And here also I6. Now here also I6. Now this one also I6. This one also I6. And this one also I6. So here you can see this is the average and this is a difference. And after once you have figured out your difference, so what you have to do, you have to find the absolute figure, which means you have to remove this minus and your a sign which is coming. So I'm going to find here as an absolute difference here. So I'll give this formula here equal to sign, and then I will give here as your ABS. And with this ABS, no, hold on, ABS. And then what I'm going to do here, I will take this and select this one, press enter. Now this is a positive sign, so it has taken as a positive. Now here you can see all these, the negative sign has been removed. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sum this product. Sum this. So if I sum this all, I think this will come as an, if I sum this all, this is coming as a 69.5, and this divided by the count. So this divided by 8 people we have. So I'll divide this by 8. So the result is coming as a 8.69. I mean, this 7 it has taken as, now here also you can see. So this is the way you can find out your absolute variance, which is, some people, they also call it as an AAD, which is average absolute deviation. Now let's see what is the next formula here. The next formula here, it is salary deviation from average. So how much is the salary deviation from the average it is coming? So this is your salary. So this is a salary, and this salary, how much, the average difference is coming. So what I'll do, I'll select here as a equal to sign. I'll take it as a ABS, and after ABS, I'll select your C6 to your C13, And then what I'm going to do, um, hold on, forgotten what is the requirement. So the requirement it is a salary deviation from average. This is a salary deviation from the average. Okay. So we have to find it out what is the salary deviation from the average it is coming. So if I select here as a equal to sign, and what I'll do here, ABS, and divided by, so I'll find out the difference for this one, which is for your F6. So your F6, and then what I'm going to do, I'll take it as an average, F6, and then minus your average here, and minus your average, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this range again from your F6 to your F13. So if I, there's something wrong. Absolute minus this minus average. Okay, to bracket here it is. What is again something different here? It's not two bracket here, there is only one bracket. And this is not coming here. Absolute um, right, F6 minus average. And formula is fine here. I don't know why it is not. Let's see here. Equal to sign ABS divide by we want to figure it out what is the difference for this one. And so what I'll do, your minus average, and then we'll take this range from here to here, and then just close this. Right? So hold on. This is your bracket, not the forward slash. Yeah, 6,500. So here also, I think this is, we have written wrong, not forward slash. This is a fine. So like this, you can see, you can calculate your salary deviation. If you want to do the manual calculation also, you can do the manual calculation. So, so what you have to do, so we already know this figure. I mean, for this employee, we want to know that how much is the difference from the average. So first thing you have to figure it out, what is the average? So if I take this average and I'll take this company too, so you can see 50,500. And what we want to do, this minus this. So this is 65. So you can see 65 it is coming. So this is the average that you want to figure it out. Then another formula we have here, it is a percentage deviation from target. So this is your percentage deviation from target. So let's see that. So I'll take it as a equal to sign, absolute variance. And then what I'll do here with the absolute variance, I'll take it as a your E6, your this percentage value, and then E6, I'll take it here and then close the bracket here. And after closing the bracket, we'll take it as a D6 here. Again, I think there is something wrong. Absolute E variance and all right. So, and then this should be divided by D6. So if I take it, it is coming as a 6.25. So 6.25, it is giving the result. So this is absolute, and then this is your, you can see D6. So, the percentage which is deviation from the target. So we have just seen how much is the percentage which is deviation from the target here. Then you can see there's a next formula. It is this is MAT, which is mean absolute deviation. Now this is the same thing, team, which is your this formula. So there is nothing, no difference between your this formula and this formula. It's the same thing here. So again, if you want to type here, you can type it as this one and just write here as a sum product. So you have your sum product, and then I'll write it as a ABS, and then again I'll open the bracket. With this, I'll select my range, which is from your C6 to your C13, then minus your average. So selecting your average, and then again selecting this range from your C6 to your C13, and then close the bracket. How many bracket we have opened? 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3. And then after this, what we're going to do? Forwards divide by count. Divide by count, and then select your again your range, which is from your C6 to your C13, and then close it. So again, you can see it's the same thing, whatever there is, it's the same formula also. Now we want to find it out, the flag near target score. So whatever the target score is, this one, and you can see the target here it is, and we want to see that flag near target, which means I want to see whether it is on track or it is off track. So this is what I want to see here, the flag near target score. So now here you can see 80 and 85 here it is coming. And so like you can see 85 here, and then we will see minus d, which is 80 here. So what we'll do, we'll make it as a, if it is the difference is coming less than 5, it is your on track, and if the difference is more than 5, it is off track. So this is what we're going to write here. So I'll take it here as an equal to sign, and whenever there is a condition you have to use if. So I'll take it as a if, and then I'll open the bracket here, ABS, and then C6 minus D6, and then close the bracket here. So once you close the bracket here, in this case, I have to write my formula. I'll write my formula here. If it is less than, uh, your 5, then give a comma here. If it is less than 5, give comma, and then with the inverted comma, write here as a on track, close this comma, and write here as another one, which is your off track, close the, and then close your bracket. Press enter. So here you can see on track and off track. Hey team, everything seems to be fine here. If AB is the difference between from your C6 to minus D6, and then it should be, if it is less than 5, comma, it should show you on track. And then if it is, this should show me off track. Should we remove the gap from here? On track and off track. There's some issue coming on this cell team. Let's try with the same formula here. So what I'll do, if ABS, and I'll take it C6 minus your D6, and then if I close this bracket, if it is less than 5, what it should do, it should show me on track. So with inverted comma, on track, close this comma, and if it is less than 5, more than 5, then it is off track. Close this inverted comma and close the bracket here. Now here it is coming. I don't know why it is not showing it. It is the same formula we have given here. Off track. See, it's the same formula we have given here, but I think there's some issue with this cell here, so it is not working. Let's move on. The next formula it is find the range always positive. So we have to find the range which is positive here. So I'll give here as a equal to sign. I'll give here as a absolute variance. And then here I'll open the bracket. And then what I'll do, I'll find the, so basically what we are doing, we're finding out the difference from the highest one and the lowest one. So here the maximum, it should take it from your this range, from your this figure, close this, and then it should also minus this. Minus also, it should take it from where? C6 to your C13, and then close this. Double close this because there's a two bracket here and press enter. You can see the difference is coming as a 32. So let's see that manual also. So the highest one, it is, I think, 95, and the lowest one, it is 63. So 95 minus 63, 25 minus 63 is coming as a 32. So it's perfectly fine. And now let's see the last formula here, which is the distance from the first and the last student. So I want to find out the difference from the first and the last student. So I'll give here as a, uh, equal to sign, and then here I'll give it as a ABS bracket, and I'll select this range from here, and uh, then here what I'll do, hold on, this is not uh, C6 to your, this is minus, right? This is what we want. The first, so it's saying the distance from the first and the last one, right? So here if I close this, so it has given me 6. So 85 minus 91, yeah, obviously it is 6. So this is how you can see the distance from the first and the last student. So first and the last student, it is 6. So this is how, team, you can do all the variance formula here. So you can see how we have done this absolute variance. In the next topic, we will cover other function. And again, team, if you want this Excel sheet, just comment with your mail ID. We'll send you this Excel sheet. Okay, team. Hi, team. Let's understand mod function today. So we're going to see in today's session what is mod function. Mod function is nothing, it's just a return the reminder. So basically, in simple terms, it's like, whatever the reminder it is, that is your mod function. So if you read here also, the mod function returns a reminder after a number is divided by a divisor. So whatever the reminder it comes, that is basically, in simple terms, it is a mod function. Let's see with an example. So, so here you can see the syntax for mod function, it is equal to mod, and this is your 10 divided by 3. So if you divide 3 by 10, 10 by 3, so you will get the result as a 1 because 1 is coming as a reminder, right? 3 is a result, but 1 is coming as a reminder. This is basically, it's a mod function. Now let's see some more example with the mod function. So here you can see mod 10 divide by 3, which is equal to 1, which we have already seen. In the second example, it is 15 divided by 5. Now there is no reminder here. So the result is coming as a 0. Now here you can also see the explanation, which is 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3, which is reminder is coming as a 0. Then you have another function which is 7, divide by 2. Now 7 divided by 2, the reminder is coming as a 1. So the result is also as a 1. Now minus 7 divided by 2. Now if you take it, this result is coming as a 1. And 7 divided by minus 2, then also it is coming as a minus 1. So this is your mod function it is. Now, why we use mod and what is the real purpose? What we use mod? We use mod for to repeat the value in a cycle. Like for example, here you can see 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0. So where do we use this? We use this for repeating pattern, like in your shift to rotation. We use this in a task assignment. We use this into your serial grouping. Then we also use this for to find out even and odd number. So you can see here. So if the result is 0, it is even. If the result is 1, it is an odd. So that is also, this mod function is used. So you can see it is used for data validation. It is used for alternate row formatting. Then it is also used for alternate formatting, which is zebra row. So here you can see which actually so alternate formatting here, which is like helps highlight every second row. So you can see like this one is highlighted. Every second row it is coming as a highlighter, right? It is used basically in a dashboard, and it is also used in a report for better readability. So this is what the mod function it is. Then it is also used to handle time and limits. Like for example, keeps the value within a limit like 24 hours. So if you want something to be in the 24 hours limit, so you can basically go ahead and use this. Then after that, you can see here, it is used in time calculation. It is used in the clock formatting. So this is what it is. And it's also used in a group data in batches. Like for example, in packaging unit, team grouping, and the batch processing. So all these purpose we basically use mod. Now let's see also on Excel sheet how we can use this mod function with a different formula. So this is my Excel sheet, which I will be using this mod function. So let's go ahead and see, with a different formula here. So I'm going to hide this row so that the screen looks a bit bigger here. Now, this is you can see the financial variance and the scheduling data. So we have a total 8 data with the name, with their score, with their target, with their variance, with the salary and the shift. So we're going to apply in all these different formula, and we're going to see how we can achieve what function. So the first one you can see it is coming as a reminder of a score divided by 10. So we want a reminder how much it is coming of a score. So this is the score. So we're going to divide this 85 by 10. And how we're going to see how much the result will come. So if I click here as a equal to sign, and if I give here as a mod, open bracket, give here as a C6, and if I give here as a comma and then 10 here, which means 85, it will be divided by 10. If I press enter, you can see reminder will come here as a 5. So this is what we use mod function. Now the second formula you can see it is coming as a to find out even or odd. If it is 0, it is even. If it is 1, it is odd. So we're going to find out the row is even or odd. So so we're going to find out your shift. So let's go ahead and find out for your shift. So here, if I give this here as a equal to sign, and I'll give here as a mod, open the bracket, and I'll select here as a shift G6. And now because we have to find the two thing which is even out, so here I'll divide this by 2. And if I press enter, you will see it is giving 1. So it is basically it's an OR. So, so this is also the purpose we use your mod. Another function we use your cycle, we use the mod, which is to find it out 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, whatever. It is like, the rotating shift pattern if you want to find it out. So let's see how we can find it out. I'll click here as a equal to sign. Then I'll give here as your mod and then open bracket. And if I give here as a G6 and then again comma, divide by this time by 3 because we want to find out the 3 cycle, which is 0, 1, and 2. So here I'll give this as a 3. And if I close the bracket, press enter. So again, you can see it has given me 1 result. So similarly, you can find it out for all the shift like this. Now let's find out the assign to even odd team. So we're going to find out the team roster split and assign to even and odd team. So how are we going to give here? So I'm going to, because there is a condition, so I'm going to give here as a equal to sign if open the bracket, and then I'll type here as a mod, and then I'll open the bracket again here. And this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my G6 divided by 3 this time. 3, why 3? Because I want to find out um no, divide the G6 and divide it by 2 team because I have to find it out what is even and odd. Basically, it is like I want to find out the team A and team B, and uh this is 2. And then here what I'll do, is equal to 0. So if it is equal to 0, then what it will be? It will be team A. So this is team A, inverted comma, close, again give comma. Otherwise, if it is 1, then what we're going to do? It will be team B. So this is team B. Inverted comma, close, and close the bracket. Press enter. There is some issue coming here, team, in this row. It's not taking it. So let's use the same formula here. If I can copy this formula here, give this here. I don't know what happened. So I'm just going to do here, which is if open the bracket, I'll give here as a mod. Again, open the bracket. This time I'm going to select G6 and divided by 2, close the bracket. And then what I'll do here is equal to 0. I'll give here and then comma. If it is equal to 0, then what it is? Team A. And inverted comma, close. Again give comma. Other than 0, if it is 1, it will be your team B. So team B. Inverted comma, close, and close the bracket. Now you can see this is coming as a team B, right? So like this, you can find out the even and odd. So similarly, you can find out for everybody in a shift wise. Then there is a another thing here, which is like 3 shift assignments. So if you want to assign the 3 shift assignment, which is like morning, afternoon, and night. So in this case, we're going to use your like find out like which shift I want to assign in the 3 shift to all to these people. So what I'll do, I'll select here as a equal to sign, and then again here I'll use if because it's a condition, and then again I'll open the bracket. I'll give here as a mod, and again open the bracket. This time G6 divided by 3 because we want to find out 3 things, which is morning, afternoon, and the night shift. Then what I'll do, I'll close the bracket equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, it is morning shift. Morning shift. And then again, what I'll do, I'll give comma. Then I'll write here as a if mod. Again, I'll open the bracket. Again, I'll select it as a G6. And then again divided by 3. Close the bracket equal to 1. If it is 1, in this case, this will be afternoon. Inverted comma, close, comma. Other than this, other than 0 and 1, it will be night shift. So this will be night shift. And again, if I close the bracket here, oh goodness, again, there is some issue coming with this. So let's do it here again, team. If I give here as a if sign here, and I'll type it as a mod, and then again, I'll open the bracket. So G6 divided by 3. If it is 3, then in this case, equal to 0 in such case, comma, and then this will be the morning shift. Morning shift, close the bracket, and then comma, and then again I'll select it as a if, open the bracket, G6, then divided by 3, close the bracket, equal to 1. If it is 1, in that case, what I'll do, this is afternoon shift. Afternoon, inverted comma, close, comma here. Other than 0 and 1, this will be night shift. So this is night here and close the bracket here. So this is how team will do that. And if I press enter, I don't know what is the issue here. If mod is G6 is equal to 3, then it's a morning shift. If G6 3 is equal to 1, it is your afternoon shift. Other than this, it is a night shift. Yeah, this is absolutely fine. Other than this is a night shift here. So what is wrong here? If mod is equal to G3, G6 divided by 3 is equal to 0. And it's a morning shift, comma. If mod is equal to G, no, I think we have forgotten to write here as a mod. If mod, open the bracket, I think now it is fine. Press enter. So you can see this is coming as an afternoon shift. So like this team, you can find it out whether which shift you want to assign to people. Then the next formula it is reminder when dividing by 5. So let's see if we divide by 5. So we're going to divide this your C6, which is 85 here. So if I select this and if I write here as a mod, open the bracket, select this 85 here and divide it by 5. That's what it is saying. Close the bracket. You can see this result is giving me as a 0 because there's no reminder here. Then in the next formula, we're going to find out even or the odd score. So let's see what is even or the odd score it is coming. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write here as a if because there is a condition, we have to find out even or the odd score. Open the bracket here and I'm going to type it as a mod. Then again, open the bracket. C6 divide by, 2 because there is a 2 condition we want to find it out, which is even or odd. And in this case, I'll close the bracket. If it is equal to 0, what I'll do, then this is your even, close the bracket, inverted comma here. And then other than this 0, if it is coming something else, then it will be your odd. Inverted comma close and close the bracket. So you can see this is coming as a odd. So like this, you can find it out even and odd also. Then you can see the another example coming here. It is your last 3 digit of salary. So let's see how we can find out last 3 digit of salary. Salary, it is this one. Now you can see last 3 digit of salary, which is 000. I think it's going to give me the 0 result only. So if I give this here as a equal to sign, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to give here as a mod, open the bracket, select your this F6 and divide by 1000 here this time. If I close the bracket, now here you can see it is giving me the 0 because it is. Now let's take some another example. If I take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if I give this formula here, what is coming here? So if I give this here as a mod, open bracket, select your this section, and then divide it by 1000 here. If I select this close bracket, you can see it is giving me the last 3 digit, which is 456. So this is how team you can find out your this last 3 salary digit. Then salary rounded to nearest 1000. Let's see how we can round this to salary nearest to 1000. I'll select here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select here salary, which is your F6. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select minus mod, open the bracket here. Then again, I'll select here as a F6, this time as a and 1000 and close the bracket here. So you can see it is giving me the 52,000. Well, it has not rounded because it is already rounded. Let's round this one here. So if I select equal to sign, and then I'll select this, my figure, minus mod, open the bracket. After opening the bracket, I'll select this one again, and it should be rounded to 3 figures. So I'll select this 1000 and press enter. Now you can see this 3 figure, it has rounded. So same thing here, which is saying salary rounded to nearest 1000. So this is how you can use your mod function. And the last function last formula it is alternating 0 and 1 per row. So let's see how we can find it out. Equal to sign. Then we're going to see mod detail. And if I select here as a, your open the bracket. After opening bracket, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select here as your raw, and then what I'll do here, I'll hold on. What I'll do here, I will I will open the bracket, close the bracket, give here as a 5, minus 5, and then 2 here. And if I close the bracket here, you can see again it is giving with a 0. So this is how you can find it out, the alternating to 0 and 1 per row. So like this team, you can use the mod function. And if you want this Excel sheet, just comment your email ID. We'll send you this Excel sheet. And so we'll stop this session here. I think in today's session, we're going to understand power function of Excel. So let's see what is power function. So power function All right, the power function team in Excel is used to raise a number to a specific power that basically we call it as an exponent, and that is what the power function actually it does. Now we'll see certain example of power function, that how basically these power function and how we can raise to certain exponent. So let's see some of the example. So this is the syntax basically we use for power function, and then there is a number and the power where it reads to what exponent you want. Let's see some of the example that so the example one, it's a basic squares in the cube. So for example, if you give this formula here, and so this is 2 and you want to raise to the exponent of 3, so which is means like 2 into 2 into 2, so the result it comes 8. Now this is like you want to use power, and this is 5 and you want to reach to the exponent of 2. So 5 into 5, the result is 25. Then there is a power 10 into 4. So you want 10 times of into 4. So that becomes 10,000. So this is the example of a basic squares and cube. Let's see some more example. So another example, it's of a square roots and the fractional exponent. So here you can again see the power 16, then the exponent is 0.5. So basically you are trying to find out the square root. So it is 4. Then again you can see 27, then exponent of, 1/3. So this is like square root of, it becomes 3. Then you can see 32, and then it is 2.5, which is the fifth square root, so it becomes 2. So this is the another example, which is square root and the fractional exponent. Then there are negative exponent. So let's see what, how we find out for this. So you have a power which is 2 minus 1. And so, which means it's like 1 divided by 2. So it is like 0.5 as a result. And another example, it is power 10 minus 2. So it is 1 divided by 100. So the result, it is 0.01. This is our Excel sheet, and we have been using. So we're going to see 10 example for power here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hide this top row so that the screen looks more bigger here. So I've hidden my top row. So this is what we're going to use for the, I know we have a data from the investment and engineering data. So you can see we have a 10 data. So the description, you can see all these description. We have a base value, exponent, because the entire power we're going to use the exponent only. So this is what is the exponent. Then you can also see area. Then we have a principal and we have a rate in percentage. So we have a 10 example here. Let's go ahead and see how we can calculate power. So the first one, you can see 2 into power of 8, which very simple in PPT example also I have covered. So we're going to use equal to sign. We're going to use power. We're going to open, hold on, power, and we're going to open the bracket. Just this. Equal to sign. We're going to use power, and we're going to open the bracket, and then we're going to write here as a 2 because that's what is saying, and exponent of 8. So we're going to write here as a 8. And then what we're going to do, we're going to close the bracket, press enter. So you can see 256 is a result coming. So which means if 2 times, if you multiply 8, it will give you the 256 result also. Let's see the next formula here, which is base into exponent from data. So this is base and this is exponent. It's the same example, which is like, if you type here as a power and then open the bracket. So 2, which is C6, and then give comma, which is exponent of D6, and close the bracket here. So if you press enter, you can see your same result because this is also 2 an exponent of 8, which is very much the similar example of the example 1 we have taken. Now let's see third example. Third example, you can see 3 and exponent of 4. Now, obviously, if you take it into 3 fours are, which is 81 also. So let's see here, it is into power. So this is power, And if I open the bracket, so what we're going to do, 3, comma, and exponent of 4 here. So this is 4. And if I close the bracket, press enter, you can see it is coming as an 81. So that's a power function. And now let's see with the fourth example. So again, the fourth example, it is 10 and exponent of 6. So if I take it as a power equal to sign, then power, open the bracket. I'm going to give here as a 10 and exponent of 6 here. Obviously, it will become 10,000. So here it is, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 60 it has taken here. So like this, you can calculate your all these your power function. Now let's see another example here. So this another example is a compound factor. So this is like how to find the compound factor. We have also seen in one of the PPT also that how we can find the compound factor. So again, you can see compound factor, which is, hold on. I think the formula is going. So we need to freeze this from here. So let me just freeze this. And it's getting freeze here. We need to remove this and freeze, and we need to freeze from here. I'm going to freeze this pin. Yeah, I think better. So the another one, it is here. You can see this compound factor, which is like 5% into 10 years. So how much you'll be paying, 5% for 10 years. So this is what we're going to find out. So what we're going to do, we're going to use power function, power, open the bracket, and since it is, the compound factor, which is 5%, so in this case, what we're going to do, we're going to take it as a 1.05, and then exponent of 10, that's what the whole compound factor it is for 10 year, you want to find it out. Close the bracket and press enter. So you can see, which is like 1.627, which is coming as a compound, power growth factor. So this is like, which is coming in terms of a percentage. This is what the percentage that you'll be paying. Now the compound interest. Now let's, in another example, let's find out the compound interest, and this is a formula. So how much is the interest you'll be paying? Let's figure it out. So I'm going to take it here as a equal to sign, and then I'm going to take it here as your so if I take it my principal amount, which is your F6, and so P means the principal amount, and what we're going to do, we're going to into your power, and then open the bracket. So then you can see we're going to take it to 1 plus your, the rate, which is there. So I'm going to take it here as a rate, and then what I'm going to do, divide, close the bracket here after, you know, 1 plus G6 and then comma, and then what is your exponent? Exponent is 8. So I'm going to close here. So here you can see 14,774.55. This is a compound interest which is coming, and this is a way team you find out the compound interest. Now let's see next formula here, which is CAGR growth rate from the total return. So we're going to find out the growth rate from the total return. So let's come here. We're going to use equal to sign, which is power, open the bracket. And so this is a principal amount. And then what we're going to do, comma 1, and then divide by, we're going to take it as your exponent, and then this n minus 1, because we want to find out the growth rate from the total which has happened. So the growth rate, it is like 2.16. So you can see 2.16.23, it is coming as a growth rate. And the next formula, it is 2 to exponent of n, so which is a binary sequence. So let's see how we're going to find it. So we're going to figure it out for the base value as a 2, and the binary sequence, we're going to find it out. So binary sequence, so in this case, the binary sequence is going to be 2 into exponent of 2 only. I think the first formula here, what we have done it into first. So we're going to use power, open the bracket, 2. So this is 2. Uh, because it's not mentioned as a base value 2. So I think I'll just write here as 2. And then comma, and then exponent of your 8. So which is into your D6. And then if I close the bracket, so 256, that's very much we have done it into the first formula. Now, the next formula it is, we're going to find out the cube root power of 1 by 3. So again, we're going to find it out for your C6. So if I come here, open the bracket, and if I type here as your power, and after this power, if I open the bracket, so we're going to take it here as your C6, and then the power of 1 by third. So exponent of 1 by third here. So we're going to take it and close the bracket here. So this is 1.26. And the last formula we have here, which is your square of average principal. So let's see how much we're going to find out the square of average principal. So we're going to take it here as an equal to sign, power. Then we're going to add here as a sum. And then we're going to open the bracket here. So we're going to take it your, this entire your principal, which is from F6 to your F15. And then what we're going to do, we're going to close the bracket and then divide by count. And then again open the bracket, which is again from your F6 to F13. Close the bracket and exponent of 2 and close the bracket. So if you press enter, so this is what the result it will come. So this is what team we use power for. Basically, it is used for the compound interest. So we have taken 10 formula for this. So we'll stop this session here. Once again, if you want this Excel sheet, drop your email ID. We'll send you this Excel sheet.